Good evening, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me loud and clear for another Sunday stream. And tonight we're kicking off a brand spanking new league with not just one type of car, but two types of cars. It is multi-class racing in the league for the very first time. You know, we've had one-off specials of multi-class racing before. Never before, though, have we had a full 4-week league of multi-class racing. 30 people have entered the league. I believe we're slightly under that for this evening's race, but I'm sure they will join us again in future weeks. And the competition for both classes is hot. Hot, hot, hot. And speaking of hot, I've got someone hot in the commentary box with me this evening. It is, of course, the main man. It is Jamie.
What a beautiful link that was. Good evening.
Did you like that?
Oh, very much so, yeah. I'm sure Rolfie and Trev will agree in the chat, early doors there.
Hell yeah. It is already going off in the chat. We've got Rob saying good evening. We've got Not Benjamin saying good evening. Trevor's there saying hi. Rolfie's here. Mad Thundercat's here. Everyone's getting involved early, Jamie, and I can only guess it's because tonight is going to be hectic.
Well, you can tell already how excited everyone is, and so are we. A little bit scared, but also excited.
Yeah, really excited. As we said, two classes of races this evening, which, you know, I'm going to point this out nice and early, does not reflect the quality of the drivers. It's just a case of choosing which car they fancy driving this evening. So we've got some really strong racers in both classes of car here this evening. 15 have entered in each class, which some weeks we're going to have a full grid of 30. I believe we're about 26, 27 this evening, so still a lot of cars on the track to get right, Jamie. And, you know, there's going to be all sorts of action going on the track tonight, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the difference between the cars is about 20 seconds a lap, we think. So it's going to be fascinating. But like you said, no difference in quality of drivers. Amazing drivers in both fields. So basically, we've got two amazing championship battles for the price of one.
Exactly right. Odyssey says, new camera, your saturation seems off. No, I've not touched the camera. Maybe it's, I don't know.
Suntan, you guys, then?
Might be a suntan or something. I don't know. I mean, I've literally not been anywhere near anything that's hot, apart from the light that's shining on me now. But who knows? But Rob says, unfortunately, he's not racing tonight, as he's got a few broken ribs to go with his broken hand. Horrible for him to miss out on this tonight. But thanks for being with us anyway, Rob. And thank you, everyone, for joining us for what should be an amazing evening of racing. As we said, two classes of cars. It's the very first week. We've got T-Mac, we've got Bob, we've got Higgs Boson, we've got Seb, we've got Jimmy Tulipan, we've got Blast, we've got Berserker, we've got Don Tito, we've got Sin, Inverter, like so many good racers across the field, Jamie. I, for one, I'm not going to say who's going to get anywhere near the top, because I reckon at least 5 or 6 people in each class can get towards the top of the grid tonight.
Yeah, it's anyone's game at the moment, so we're just going to have to see how this first race pans out, see how they get to grips with these incredibly fast cars.
Yes, and they look absolutely beautiful. And of course, you know, it's all well and good me looking absolutely beautiful on screen here, Jamie sounding absolutely beautiful, but you guys at home, you want to see some beautiful cars. So let's head straight over to practice and we can see how the guys are getting on with these cars early doors. Here we go. The track is here and Artem Benner leads the way in class number 1 with Bibby leading the way in class number 2, Jamie. And track's looking good, cars are looking sexy. It's going to be fantastic tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say the pick of the bunch for me is these GTE class 2, the Aston Martins in particular. Oh, that is one sexy looking car right there.
Very much indeed. And OTL Milo, of course, you know, he's been involved in our Discord channel a little bit over the last few weeks, racing for the first time on the stream, I believe, this evening. So again, you know, as much as we know a lot of these races this evening, there are a few in there that we simply don't know a lot about. So there could be a few dark horses, methinks. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's quite a few names, actually, I don't know, but there's also some ones that already we're seeing at the top of the times there to Benner and Bibby, and Seb right up there, not far behind. Bearing in mind T-Mac's name has set a time yet, we know these are all incredibly fast, so it's going to be tough. for all these guys to get the victory tonight, I think.
Yes, very much indeed. Not Benjamin says, Noob Gamers Live, your video links are a bit choppy tonight. Yeah, since the software update, it's not been quite smooth sailing over here at Noob Gamers Towers with the stream, but I'm going to need to spend some time and look into the issues, I think, in the middle of the week, because it's not quite as smooth as I'd like it to be. But hey, hopefully you can still see the beautiful inside of this cockpit. We're in with Roy Klops at the moment. The detail on these cars is amazing. Not much visibility for the drivers though, as Roy Klops comes up harder. Someone just comes out of the pits, and look how close that was. That was, I mean, that must have been millimetres away, Jamie.
Has he got himself a nice little digital reversing camera plugged into his car here? That's very modern, isn't it?
Yeah, very modern.
He's done well. You reckon he's got Spotify going on or something while he's racing around?
Why not? Yeah, just crack on with it. Yeah. Crack on. But yeah, thank you for joining us here. The Noob Gamers Live Twitch stream is a go for another Sunday stream. If you're just getting involved in the chat, that's great. If you're sat back, relaxing, watching the action, that's cool. If you want to subscribe, if you want to donate, if you want to follow, all those things are available to you. But however you contribute to the channel this evening, we appreciate every single one of you for even just being here and joining us for what should be an amazing night of racing with a little bit of ghost in there. But Jamie, 10 minutes of practice, 15 minutes of qualifying, and an hour and 5 minutes racing. We've got loads of action to bring to people at home tonight, haven't we?
Well, don't switch off, because there is so much to come. We're just getting started. An hour and 5 race, that's going to test not only the speed but the endurance of these guys. That's a seriously long race.
It is a seriously long race, yeah. As you said, concentration levels are going to be key. We're told that the LMPs will be lapping the GTEs between 5 and 6 times tonight. So, you know, even if you're miles out on front, that we've seen in, you know, past races, you've still got to keep your concentration levels up, because of course, unlike other races where you get back markers involved, there is no reason for the slower cars to move out the way this evening. It's all on the LMPs to actually find their way around the GTs, so the onus is on them. So concentration levels are going to have to be at their very, very best, I would have thought, Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely. Just having a bit of trouble here. Not Benjamin seems to be having trouble with the stream quality. It looks okay to me. Maybe a couple of other guys could give some feedback.
Yeah.
But like you say, it does seem like that update, the first few minutes of every stream does seem to struggle at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe a cheeky refresh.
But then it seems to pick itself up.
Yeah, might maybe just refresh your screen, something like that. Not quite sure what's happening, but yeah, I will look into this in more detail during the week if people are having a few issues. But yeah, maybe a quick reset, whatever, you know, refresh. And I can only apologise, but hopefully you can still see enough of the action this evening. Ben Cisco, early door, says he was practicing with Roughneck 1 this morning in preparation tonight. He's improved his time by 2 seconds, perhaps a top 10 finish in the class. What are you thinking about that? Yeah, I mean, I've heard that Roughneck 1's been putting in some, you know, a lot of practice for the race, and could we see him challenge him for the first time? What do you think?
We could do. We've not seen him right at the very sharp end of things in these races before, have we? But if he's been putting in the time, he's obviously really enjoying these cars. Then, yeah, why not? I mean, to be honest with you, Ryan, it's such a unique event for us here that really all bets are off. They're all quick, so you know it really comes down to how much effort and practice they've put in, and the consistency and holding your nerve on the night. So I genuinely mean it when I say it's anyone's game.
It is anyone's game indeed, yes. But as I say that, T-Max shoots his way to the top of the grid. You know,
that's that then.
We've not seen that very much before, have we? But hey, a 140 from T-Max, which is, you know, pretty good. Now, a few extra rules for our racers here this evening. Practice is now coming to an end, but as the qualifying session hits, everyone has 15 minutes to qualify, and there are some limits, some maximum limits to the qualifying time this evening. If a racer fails to make the qualifying limits, which are, so it's 1 minute 49 for the LMP, so at the moment everyone who's racing at the moment will be in with a shout, no problem, and it is 2 minutes 10 for the GTEs. Now Siaski's on a 2:11 at the moment. There's still some people who haven't actually posted a time, and if you fail to meet those maximum times, you will not be allowed to race this evening, Jamie. So a little bit of extra pressure for everyone for qualifying this evening.
Yeah, what was it, a 149, did you say?
149 for the LMP and a 210 for the GTEs.
210. So it's pretty close. I mean, the Vertigo's half a second inside the window in the LMPs. There's only one LMP's not set a time, which is Jimmy Tilliband. I think a few of the guys dropped in and out of the session. They maybe had some connection issues, but it looks like all 26 are back now. Hopefully, everyone will make it. We wouldn't want to see anyone miss out because of that, would we?
No, exactly. I think T-Mac is going to be generous, if he sees that you've nailed it during the week or nailed it during practice here this evening, and perhaps don't manage to get a lap time down because of, getting your lap times invalidated or whatever. I think it's just I think the marker is there to make sure people have put the time in the week, had a decent go on these cars, because what they didn't want is people just rocking up on the night, spinning around the track and getting in everyone's way. But it looks like everyone's times are pretty good enough for that.
It does, and that's the thing. You don't want to ruin someone else's race by accident, do you? Can I just confirm, whilst this loads, Ryan, in answer to Odyssey's question, have you spent 18 hours in the Saharan sun, or...?
No, to be honest with you, I think the issue with my complexion this evening is my daughter, I think, was running around in my office and has kicked the bottom of the light post that I used to, illuminate me on this stream, and I think it's slightly off-kilter, so I think it might only be getting one side of my face or something, but... Either way, if I look great, fantastic.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. Mr. Salt has just joined, tuning in from Leeds. He finally got home to his parents after a meal. Well, thank you for joining us, Mr. Salt. He's here, the man himself. Ben Sisko, a little update from him, saying he was killing it in the Corvette earlier for Roughneck 1. So, we'll keep an eye on Roughneck. As Trevor says, it would be great to see him do well. But here we go. We're into qualifying now, Jamie. Just 15 minutes. And already Blas is getting a shunt in for someone there. Blas, of course, we've not seen a lot of him on our streams, Jamie. But, as you said, anyone could qualify well or win this race at all. So it should be an exciting evening.
Yeah, I mean, 20. Looks like we've got 25 come through to qualify. Interesting, Bibby already with a penalty. Let's just scroll down and have a quick look at that for you. He's got a 1 grid place penalty, Bibby, and he was the leader in the GT class, so that's in practice, that's something to look out for there.
Yeah, not good at all. But Johnny, one note now, we're on board at the moment, but these cars do look fantastic, and they are so quick. You can see the pace difference down there now, which is just unbelievable. And of course, as we said, the GTEs don't have to get out the way. They are meant to hold. They're actually told to keep on the racing line as much as possible. And it is the LMPs who have to make the manoeuvres around them. So something extra for the LMPs to think about this evening for sure. Obviously the pressure is all on them, Jamie, to make sure they don't make mistakes.
It is. I mean, they've got the speed advantage, they've got to make it count. And you'd like to think on the straights they should have hopefully not too hard a time making that. But what it does do is add a bit of spice. If there's a battle going on in the LMPs and they come across a few GTEs who are also having a battle, that's when you've really got to be, on your best to make sure there's no mistakes. Yeah,
and it's just about as we just saw at the front of OTL there was already some smashes going in qualifying early doors, so some people I imagine will be shooting straight back to the pits. But here we go. Berserker's off the track. He's trying to navigate round there. He gets on, uses the grass wisely there to get round it. But as you said, Jamie, it's so important that if you come across 2 cars racing in a lower class, they might be, go slightly off the racing line as they're racing.
They're in their own race.
You've just got to pick your moments wisely because, you don't want to lose, any damage, any bits of your car to a silly mistake trying to overtake, a second-class car, essentially.
Yeah, just a quick shout out to Mr. Salt, actually. Condolences to him. Just mentioned he's got to attend his grandfather's funeral, so I hope that all goes well, Mr. Salt, and we see you back racing soon.
Indeed, yes. Very good of you to say, Jim. I missed that on the chat myself. But yes, Mr. Salt, all the wishes of the Noob Gamers team goes to you and your family, and I hope you have a good celebration of his life whenever the funeral hits him. But really sorry about that. It's never nice to hear that sort of news on the stream at all. We're on board with Area Motorsport at the moment. He takes a spin off the track, and although the LMPs are fast, Jamie, these GTs aren't exactly slow, so still something to handle for these guys in the class number 2 cars.
I have to say it is enjoyable watching when we're on a long straight shot with the GTEs and you can just see the LMP coming behind, and it is like Rob says in chat, it's like a rocket, just with a blink of an eye he's caught and he's passed. It must be pretty scary for the GTE guys because they just come out of nowhere behind you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think if I had to race in this, I'd probably want to race in the GTs actually, just because I know I can just sit there, keep my line, and it's not on me for them to have to like get around me. You can just chill a little bit. But some times are starting to come in now, Jamie. We've got a couple in each class. T-Mac getting so close to getting under the 140 mark, leads the way so far, and it's Area Motorsport with an early time with the second class, but that time from Area Motorsport is well outside of the required timing. So
just warm up laps, I think.
But there we go. Vertigo straight in with a 2:10. Bob's now in with a 2:03. So times are starting to creep in now. We're gonna get a good gauge of what the grid's gonna look like. And only 10 minutes to go, Jamie. It's still not a lot of time, is it?
It's not at all. It's just interesting when we're in cockpit view. Normally in cockpit view, it doesn't look like you're going that fast, but in these LMPs, it really does look fast, even in cockpit view, I have to say. On some of those quick corners, it really is quite fast. Let's stay on wall cockpit while he catches up this GT here. You can just see the difference. I mean, they're both flat out, and it's just zoom past him, like he wasn't even there. Fascinating. A penalty actually as well for Jimmy Tulipan, another one grid place penalty as well. So two really quick guys with one grid place penalties. But to be honest, can we see anyone getting close to that T-Mac time? 140.2, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, Bibby, I think Jimmy Tulipan is in the higher class car. Bibby, of course, with the penalty is going to cost him in the second class's car. Don Titor at the moment with a 141 is as close as anyone's got so far to T-Mac. T-Mac absolutely killing it. How many people have we still got left to post some time? Let's have a quick look down. There's quite a few racers still yet to post a time, Jamie, by the looks of it.
Eight racers, yeah, a mix of the classes. But it's difficult, you know, we've talked about this every time, don't we, in these short burst qualifying sessions, to find the space, especially with 26 drivers out there and such varying speeds, to find that space, get your tyres in the right temperature zone to set a hot lap. I have to say, Don Titor with a 141.1, that is also an absolutely fantastic time. He's not going to be far off, and Bob with a 2:03 in the GTE, that seems very good. I mean, at the moment he's only 3 seconds off Higgs Boson in the LMP, although I imagine that will be improved fairly swiftly.
yeah, imagine that. He's just catching on. We have, of course, in one of the one-off specials, we did have a Class B racer actually finish ahead of a Class A racer in one of our one-off specials, which was just simply fascinating to watch. I can't remember who it was in the Class A car, but they were struggling all the way around the track with some damage or something, and in the end actually got overtaken. I can't see that happening tonight, but hey, who knows. But on board with Legionary at the moment, he finds himself, let's do some quick maths quickly while I'm looking on this, 4th at the moment in the GTE, so he's up there. It is the top 8 places, which is something we haven't mentioned this evening. So the top 8 places in each class will score points. It's 10 points to the winner, 8 points to second, and 6 points to third. So you really want to get in that top 8 this evening, Jamie. You know, even a single point could help you along in the championship in the long run.
It could, as we see a recovery onto the track there from one of the GTs. I have to say, I'm not 100% sure on what is considered a very good time for the GTs, but that 2:03 from Bob that he set early on in qualifying, it really does seem actually like it's looking like a really quick time. No one's been able to get close yet. Even Bibby, we know, super close. It's a couple of seconds off it. So that could be interesting. Bob maybe putting himself in contention for a great start to this championship.
Yes, exactly right. As we nearly see, great evasive action there from those drivers. Langalang getting in amongst it. I think he, he had a.
Oh, dear me! Someone's followed him in.
Unbelievable there. We've got to bring a replay of that to screens. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, Bob so far with the 2:03 is really, really good. Of course, Bob, who, you know, regular watchers will be aware, he's normally on the Thursday stream. He's made his shift across to the Sunday League now. You know, to get involved with some new races, and you know, he had his first taste of it with the one-off special we held last Sunday. Didn't quite place as high as he'd like, and I know, you know, we've spoken to him before. I know he's really keen on making his mark in this championship on a Sunday, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and he's, you know, he started perfectly. I think that was Area Motorsport that just followed the LMPs right into the back of him and the wall there. So that was a good early start. Rob 3 in chat. Even more gutted about his rib situation. I think he said he was doing 143s in practice, so he would have been in the top 5 or 6. So disappointing for him there.
Yeah, really disappointing. We're on Bob. We're on Bob. Oh, here we go. My words are going again. On board with Roughneck 1 as we switch to Blass. Blass at the moment with a 147 in the LMPs, so just outside the top 8 at the moment. But, you know, hey, not far at all from Higgs Boson, who's in 8th. So he's got a little bit of work to do to make sure he nips inside. But, of course, the race ahead of us is 1 hour and 5 minutes. And with 5 minutes to go of this race, there is the 5 minutes there is there for a reason, and that is to help with the formation lap. If you were here on the stream with us last Sunday, you will see a manual rolling start for this league championship. We saw it at the Zolder one-off special where everyone got to grips with it, but the manual rolling start, Jamie, is basically to aid the rolling start, because with the game, if the game, you know, does it automatically, we do see issues. So hopefully with the manual rolling start, we'll see less issues than what the game can be.
Yeah,
hopefully
less perhaps rather than none. Yeah, with 26 cars and half and half classes, it's obviously there's a lot of opportunity for errors. But yeah, in classic Project Cars 2 style, of course there's some bugs. So
Yes.
you can't trust it. As Callie blasts past one of the GTE cars, I'm actually loving this delta between the cars. It just looks amazing.
Yeah.
Looks like the DeLorean from Back to the Future going past. Doesn't it?
Yes, I think the all-white cars are a custom livery that they've not sent to us, so we can't see what that custom livery is, I believe.
Oh.
I don't think there
That
are
does
any
look
just
very
all-white
white.
cars, but yeah, it is very
Yeah.
white. But Crichton Alpha's just joined the chat, Jamie, and he says, is full damage on? Would you like to,
Of course it is.
answer him? Of course it is, yes.
Of course it is. Look at those fragile little wings all ready to snap off. Fantastic.
Absolutely incredible scenes if we see some crashes here this evening. Loads of bits of car that can fly off, but it is still T-Mac who leads the way. But Jimmy Tulipan, Jamie, with a 148, you know, hey, he's getting in close. He does have that grid penalty, but it shows, you know, he can be up there with T-Mac and challenge at the top of this grid.
Is it worth just having a quick look, Ryan, to see who currently is falling outside of that qualification zone?
Yeah, we'll have a quick look now.
Only a couple of minutes left.
Couple of minutes left. So at the moment, everyone's in. Roughneck 1's just outside by a second, and Siaski with a 2:16 at the moment. But Siaski was only a second out in practice, so T-Mac might let him squeeze in potentially. Obviously, it's his decision at the end of the day. And when we come to the LMPs, it's just Langerlang who's 2 seconds out. But again, I believe in practice he was okay. But again,
Yes,
it's
everyone was in, weren't they?
Yeah, it's going to be up to T-Mac to see who actually he lets in. And as we say that, Jamie, incredible scenes on the stream. We've had we had our very first off-air donation a good couple of weeks ago, which was just amazing, like just so good. But on air for the very first time, Mr. Salt has come in with a £12.95 donation. He says the best racing stream there is. Good luck to all those racing, Mr. Salt. Your generosity is very much, you know, appreciated, my friend. That is incredible scenes from you, and hopefully, yes, we can bring you, you know, keep this stream going, keep all the action going, and bring you loads and loads of racing over the next few weeks, as we always intend to do. On board with Mad Knife at the moment. Mad Knife racing in the second class of car, the GTs, and he's running with a 2:08 at the moment. And you can just see the pace again of those LMPs just shooting past.
It's such a good image, isn't it? It's really, it just gets your blood racing. It's really exciting.
Although Mad Knife,
good to see Mad Knife involved in these races. Actually, he's a great guy. He's been with the community from the start. So I really hope he has a great race tonight.
Yes, fingers crossed indeed. So Mr. Salt says, you're welcome, guys. Thanks for all you've done for us in the community. We try our best, Mr. Salt. We try our best, and you know, we're really pleased that it's all the work we try and do on the stream is appreciated. Just over a minute left. The grey text on the blue sky on my screens again, a classic from Project Cars, making this game unreadable as possible.
I'm just going to jump on with T-Mac, Ryan. Have you seen the time he's popped up there?
Oh
my days!
6 from T-Mac. There's Don Titor coming in with a 147. He's thinking, I'm catching him. T-Mac comes in with a 139. Unbelievable scenes from T-Mac there, Jamie. Just simply amazing.
Unbelievable, yeah. I mean, no one's getting near that. That's a full second he's got. He organises all these things. He does a great job pulling all these races together. But no one can deny that he is unbelievably fast himself.
Yes, and not Benjamin. You will be aware, mate. Every time. Oh, you probably won't now because it's been a while. But when you log into the stream for the first time, it does come up with a mature audience warning, just in case. So we're covered legally if anyone wants to sue us. But yes, that was a slip from me. I'm not normally coarse on the air. But less than a minute to go. Quickly, Mr. Sock says it has its problems, but at the heart of this, at its heart, this community is so solid. Yes, we love the community we've built up in and around these races, and hopefully it can continue to grow and prosper as time goes on. But at the moment, it's T-Mac leading the way in the LMPs, and it is still Bob leading the way. Or the Area Motorsport, Jamie, is getting very, very close to him.
Yeah, but that time that he set, again, right at the start of the session, it's been enough so far. He must be absolutely buzzing with that. We're just on board with Langenland now, who's still a couple of seconds out. We saw him just go wide there and a couple of corners back. He's really obviously feeling the pressure now to meet that minimum time. And he runs wide again. And this is probably his last chance, to be honest. I don't think he's going to get another lap in. So I don't think he's probably going to make the cut. So this is going to be an interesting decision to make. And see it same for Siaki in the GTs, who's obviously a bit further out. Oh no, so he's definitely not making it. That's that lap gone for Langelang. So what a shame. Let's jump on with Siaki, see if we can improve.
Yeah, let's
Doesn't
have a
look like it.
So
he's finished.
Interesting scenes here. Obviously, there are those maximum qualifying times that T-Mac has imposed on the race to make sure it's as because we don't want people in and around getting in people's way if they're not quite up to the speed that should be required. But obviously, T-Mac will know a lot more about how they fared in practice, in laps times during the week, and he might make some exceptions. But we shall see how many races we start with. So yeah, the cut-off minimum times, just to remind everyone, it is a 1:49 for the LMPs and a 2:10 for the GTEs as Odyssey. Hey, doing my job for me. Loving your work, Odyssey. There it is in the chat for you all. But yeah, on board with Invertigo. And Invertigo, Jamie, with a 1:45 at the moment. Hey, he's just outside the top 8, which of course where he needs to be for the points. But there's some really interesting gaps between all these cars as he just jumps into 8th.
Yeah.
So he's just jumped up there. You look at 7th, 8th and 9th on the LMPs and they're all so close. At the top of the grid we got close races, towards the middle of the grid we got close races. We should have so much action here when this race kicks off.
Yeah, just to answer the question in chat at the end, the minimum time is just for this race, not the league itself.
Yes.
So they'll absolutely be allowed to practice and try and race for the next one. I'm not sure what's going to happen. T-Mac might let them race. We'll have to see. Just looking at the leaderboard here, they're in like little groups, they're more spread out than we've seen before. First to 10th, there's 6-7 seconds, which isn't what we're used to seeing.
No, indeed.
So it'll be fascinating.
So it's T-Mac, Don Titor and Jimmy Tulipan who take the lead in the LMPs, and when we go to the GTEs, it's Bob Hunt, Bibby and Area Motorsport who take the top 3 in those. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 1 hour and 5 minutes of racing is ahead of us. We do, of course, have the manual rolling start before the race kicks off. So it's not going to be go from the lights here this evening. We're going to, when we get locked in, it's a manual rolling start. Everyone will gradually make their way around the track. And it's up to the guys to make sure they're in the right position when the formation lap continues round. Anyone who spins out during this lap, they will have to start at the back of their class. So you might have qualified really well, but hey, if you make a mistake on this formation lap, you could find yourself towards the back end of the grid, Jamie, which would be pretty gutting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and just to confirm, it looks like Langelang has made it through, but Siaki has not. Okay. He was, of course, about 6 seconds off with that time, wasn't he? So
yes.
It seems like T-Max made that decision, but Langelang is in the race. We've got 12 LMPs, and then 13th to 25th are GTEs.
Interesting stuff. So we've had one casualty in the race already due to not making the qualifying times required. T-Mac, he did say in the lead up to this race, he expects people to practice because he doesn't want people, hey, there's a lot of good racing here with some really fast cars, and you don't want someone on the track who's just too far behind, perhaps getting in the way and making things difficult for the other racers. And he's made that call. Hey, it's not as if they've not had a warning, and there we go. So we've lost a race already, but just waiting for this to lock in. Of course, traditionally we should see a little flash on the screen and the word sinking appear, and then we know it's time to go. But thank you for joining us. Mr. Salt says, Jamie and Ryan, please try and keep a tabs on the GTs as well as
don't
yes,
worry.
of course. We've already gone through this, Mr. Salt. Of course, I know you joined us a little bit late here this evening, but the quality of the races this evening is not determined by the cars. We've got quality races in both, and we're going to do our best to just keep up with any action in either class here this evening. Jamie has got his hands glued to his camera button to flick between all these cars, and we're going to do our best to bring you everything we can.
Yeah, of course, there's going to be plenty of battles all the way, but absolutely, we're going to try and find the battles in both classes. So here we go, Ryan. Let's begin.
Here we go. So yeah, T-Mac's going to lead off this. He's just waiting for everyone to get ready. We're going to go in the cockpit. Here we go. So the formation lap has begun. So we're not racing yet. That's why the extra 5 minutes was added to this race. It was meant to be a 60-minute race, but the 5 minutes was added just so we didn't lose any of our racing time. So what we should see now is, as we can see on the screen, the race are going to weave their way around the tracks, get their tyres warm as much as they can, and it is up to T-Mac to lead the pack, and everyone's just got to file in behind nice and calm, and just make it round this track in order as we set up for the rolling start at the back. You can see Bob there leading the pack with the GTEs, and he's just, they're going to be, I think, predicted on this lap 5, 6, maybe 10 seconds tops difference. I believe, Jamie, that we were discussing before, so there should be a decent gap between the two classes of cars, because of course they're not going flat out now, are they?
So it should be, I think what the plan is about a 5-second gap between the last LMP car, Lang Lang, crossing the line, and the first GTE car. So what we'll try and do is we'll try and watch the first couple of corners of the LMPs, see if there's any action on there, and then quickly flick back to the GTs and try and catch their first few corners. Obviously, it's going to be a bit of guesswork to see where they are exactly on the track. Unfortunately, unlike TV, we've only got one camera. We haven't got 10 different screens to flip between, but we're going to do our best. And then when the race settles down, obviously, we'll be able to then pick the battles out. But yeah, Bob, we're leading the way. Manual rolling start, obviously fairly new process. Do you think he'll be feeling the pressure around, or do you think he's absolutely loving it right now?
I think he's going to be absolutely loving it. He's put his marker down in the Sunday races early doors, got himself to the top, and hey, if we know Bob, he's a winner out there, and he'll want to win this race, and he'll be absolutely loving being at the front of the pack, I'm sure. But yeah, Not Benjamin says you're going to need to hire some people in spectator mode for the rest of the league. Yeah, not a bad shout at all. Yeah, there's so much action going on, and yeah.
We got Odyssey as chat moderator sorted already.
Has he? What's he been saying? What's he been?
No, Odyssey's just been helping us out.
Helping us out in chat. Yeah.
Yeah, with all the info. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, no, you're right, Not Benjamin. Hey, we're going to do our best, but yeah, spectators in amongst it might not be a bad shout, depending on how this evening's racing goes. But yeah, Odyssey's volunteering already, and I'm sure Not Benjamin will be there as well. But Rolfie says he wouldn't write Seb off, Mr. Salt Racing. I reckon he will be on the podium. So Seb, of course, in the LMP is currently in 4th place. But hey, you've got T-Mac. Don Tito's done really well in 2nd. Artem Benner in 3rd. Seb H in 4th. Some really good races all over this field. And although T-Mac leads the way, I still think anything can happen in this race.
Yeah, it'd be great actually if people want to just chuck in chat 2 drivers, the name of who they think is going to win the LMP, who they think is going to win the GTEs. Let's all have a go. Let's see how far we get. I'm going to go T-Mac and Bob. I'm going to go pole sitters double.
Fair enough. Let's see what the guys think in the chat. But yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to look past T-Mac. His lap times were simply so good. So I will go T-Mac for the ones. But the 2s, Bob, hey, he's shown his skills early doors, hasn't he? But here we go. As we say that, so T-Mac leads the race, and we are off. We managed to get you an extra minute's worth of racing. Because there's still a minute left over the hour mark, but we're off. So T-Mac round this first corner. Don Tito goes a little bit wide, but doesn't give up a position. And now Bob leads the way in the GTE. So the second class of racing off. What a camera angle that was. See how close to the line these cars get. And Bob at the moment has got himself just ahead of the area. Motorsport's pushing him hard and just goes a little bit wide again. So Bob and T-Mac continue to hold their first place positions into the first few corners. And Jamie's really clean so far.
Yeah, really clean. It's hard to keep up with this because they're all so close at the moment. Let's jump back with the LMPs. Yeah, not too many position changes on those first. These LMPs, they all look the same basically, don't they? There's only a couple of different liveries, so Yeah, but Don Tito right out with T-Mac. He's not managed to pull away so far.
Yeah, Don Tito's certainly going to have a go here. A little bit perhaps wider than he would have liked on that one, but hey, still hanging on to the coattails of T-Mac. Will, of course, try and use any slipstream that's available to him, and he's close enough to do so at the moment. And these cars look simply stunning, and I'm hoping the racing will match up to that this evening. But Don Tito's going to be pushing hard. We're jumping straight to the front of the GTEs, and looks like Area Motorsport's going to try and make a pass on Bob. So Bob's got some early defending to do into these next few corners, and Area Motorsport is hot on Bob's tail, Jamie.
Yeah, we got Bibby and Callie right there as well. There's been hardly any position changes, which is really interesting. It's not often we see that. I wonder whether the rolling starts just makes that a bit smoother. They all get away a bit easier, and obviously the two classes as well. But they're all pretty much stationary. But I imagine we'll be seeing some overtakes as someone with that Legionary goes wide in the background there. We'll just jump back Don Tito because he's I would have thought T-Mac might have been pulling away a bit more, but he's still within half a second.
Yeah, it's an excellent driving so far from Don Tito, just to hold on to T-Mac and not let him make that make the move ahead. And at the moment, you know, it looks like we've got a good race on our hands for the 1-2. Although T-Mac now, you can just see the extra bit of pace coming out of that corner, and he's starting to edge his way forward. But remember, hey, these cars are going to have to lap the Class 2 cars 5 or 6 times throughout the race, which will, of course, could slow them down. So we could see all sorts. But we're looking back towards the top of the GTs, and Area Motorsport is still all over the back of Bob. And because of the racing those two have been putting up, you can see Bibby in 3rd place also catching that pack. So we've got T-Mac being taunted by Don Tito just in behind him. And at the moment, Area Motorsport is going to be all over the mirrors of Bob. And Bob's got some defending to do early doors, which is really, really good to see.
He is. He's having to position his car really well. He's been racing with Salty a lot, hasn't he? The master of defence, and it seems like he's picked up a few tips. But Area Motorsport with a great run here. Bob's got the inside line. Who could brake later?
Oh,
it's a little nudge. Oh no!
Little nudge.
Bob's got through.
Bob's got through. We will bring a replay of that. It looked like to me, Jamie, Area Motorsport had the advantages there.
Yeah.
And perhaps a little bit naughty from Bob there.
I think he had a full car length pretty much past, so I don't think that was necessarily intentional from Bob. He obviously just tried to move slightly back across, but it was a bit late. It's not cost him too much. He's lost one position, but he'll be a bit annoyed, Area. I think he probably rightly thought he had the move done there, to be honest with you.
Yes, and the chat's certainly lighting up saying it's naughty from Bob, but hey, with 57 minutes still to go of this race, hopefully it won't cost too much. New Gamers Live, when you do the replay of the Steam Challenge, yes, again, that is just my PC, I'm afraid. That's with trying to run Project Cars, the streaming software, that replay software, but it's my birthday soon, and RAM might be on the list.
A few more of those Mr. Salt donations, you'll be able to get a new rig, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
No pressure, boys.
No pressure, boys, yeah. Come on. We need at least 100 quid for the new RAM, but no,
you need at least 64 gig of RAM on that machine, come on.
Yeah, exactly. So no, that I am fully aware because my computer chugs when I press the replays as well, so hey ho. But yeah, we're on board with Blast at the moment towards the back of the pack for the LMPs, but he's catching Higgs Boson, but as I say that, he goes onto the grass and loses some time, so his opportunity to attack the top 8, which is of course where the points are this evening, has now been lost for the time being. We're now with Captain Callie in the GTEs in 4th place. He's managed to do well just to stay behind the the starter pack, the 1, 2, 3s at the top, and he's just biding his time. Of course, it's a long race, so no need to go hell for leather too early, and he's still within a shout of a podium position for sure, Jamie.
Yeah, a couple of shouts in chat amongst the cries of naughty Bob that he was just trying to pull him back behind in the slipstream. It did look like that, so perhaps he just slightly misjudged how far ahead Area was, so an honest mistake, but still, obviously, we have to say 100% Bob's fault, that one, whether it was intentional or not, and obviously it wasn't intentional, so unfortunate.
An unfortunate driving incident indeed, but Seb H at the moment finds himself in 4th place. He's trying to make some gains on Artem Benner, who's currently in 3rd, but Johnny 1 note just behind, so only a second either side really of Seb H. We know how quick he is, but it's a long race ahead, and he's still got time to catch up.
Yeah, these two guys, third and fourth, they are both unbelievably quick, aren't they? We saw them have that amazing last race in the championship battle to take the title a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Yes.
Both fantastically quick. So I'd be expecting them to hold on. Looks like Don Tito is now just dropping back. He's at 1.7, 1.8 seconds back off now of T-Mac. It does feel like, there was just a shout earlier, that does feel like if T-Mac is allowed to get away, pressure-free, we've seen it before in the last race, didn't we, in the one-off. When he's out there on front on his own, he can put in those consistent laps and no one can touch him. So they need to try and reel him in to put some pressure on, as we have an early pitter.
An early pitter, and it looks like Bibby making his, well, not Bibby making his way into pits, not sure who that was in the background.
Area
Motorsport going in
damage.
the pits early, must have some damage indeed, but yeah, not Benjamin. At the moment, links aren't allowed by everyone. However, what we can do, I'm not sure if I can do it live while we're going at the moment, but I'm pretty sure we can make it so subscribers are allowed to post links, and of course you are a subscriber and you would be allowed to do that if that was the case. So perhaps I'll look into making sure that we can have subscribers post links, because that would be useful, I think, for you guys to look at the chat. But if you want to go and view the replays and you check out, I'm pretty sure it's boom.tv/noobgamerslive. I'm pretty sure that brings up all of our replays, so try and check out that if that works, and you might be able to access them yourself. But yes, again, you know, hey, we always want to make little gains on this stream, and if we can help out our subscribers by allowing them to post links, we will do so. And it looks like we've got some early traffic, Jamie, as the LMPs have some cars to navigate.
Yes, it's caused an issue already. Yeah, as we see, absolutely, the GT was not on the racing line there. He actually moved out of the way, and perhaps that is what confused Seb H. But it looks like they're getting up to quite a pack here, as Artem Bennett only on lap, what is this, 2 or 3? That's, again, they're moving off the racing line, which isn't my understanding of what should be happening now.
No, so they've been specifically told to stay on the racing line and let the LMP, the faster cars, overtake them when they feel ready to do so. You know, if because of the sheer speed of these cars, if there is a diversion away from the racing line, it doesn't give a lot of time for the LMPs to make a last minute maneuver to keep out of the way. So it's so important they try and keep on the racing line where possible, and that way the LMPs can judge when it's the best time to make their move. So at the moment, on the whole, everyone's sticking to it, but maybe a little reminder might have to be chucked in by T-Mac ahead of next week to stay on that racing line. Again, as I'm speaking though, Jamie, Mr. Soul, he's feeling, you know, he's obviously feeling the love tonight. He says, "Does someone say new RAM?" ? And he's chucked another $6.48 our way as part of the donation.
Salty's, yeah, maybe he has been drinking. He's feeling very generous tonight. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, it is honestly, like, hey, when we started this channel, we had about 2 or 3 people watching us. We've now got decent numbers. We've got people actually donating to the channel, which is madness. It's just me and Jamie sat in our rooms chatting about some racing, and, you know, hey, we're making some good progress in the stream. I love everyone's contribution to the channel. Blast though, Jamie, still just outside of that top 8, but he is slowly gaining again on Higgs Boson. We saw that mistake earlier from him, and he wasn't able to capitalise on, you know, because of the mistake. But at the moment, he's got 2 people in front of him. He can catch him, Roy Klops and Higgs Boson, so he's done really well to catch up.
Yeah, it's a really close battle this between 3 guys. I'm interested to see what happens. Just looking further down the field, looks like Bob is managing to pretty comfortably stay in the lead of the GT class. Obviously, he almost lost that position. He got a bit fortunate there. Area has dropped right back down. We've lost a few cars. We're down to 22 runners now from 25. So we've lost 3 runners, so I'm not sure what's happened there. It looks like mainly LMP guys. So we'll have to try and figure out, perhaps Jack can help us out with that.
Yes, we are down to 10 now. So yes, you said, Jamie, you have lost a few, but interestingly, Bob at the moment is ahead, but you look at that last lap time and he's a whole second ahead of Bibby. So Bibby's catching him lap by lap. So maybe it's only only a matter of time before we could have another race on our hands for the top 2, do you think?
Yeah, well, we've seen Bibby and Bob have some tussles before. Always really good, clean fun. Both super quick guys. It's just, if I was in Bibby's cockpit right now, I'd just be admiring how gorgeous that car in front of us.
I mean,
perhaps a few more donations from Salty and we'll buy ourselves one. What do you reckon? The new Gamers Aston Martin.
But yeah, Mr. Salk says the way he sees it, I'm having to spend a £5 on a pint for 20 minutes of pleasure. This is over an hour and it's awesome, well worth the money. And mate, obviously we massively appreciate it. Crichton Alpha says be able to give up and turn pro soon, guys. Well, hey, that would be absolutely living the dream. But I think we're going to need a few more donations for that to happen.
We're a bit far away from that. Well, especially with your salary. Christ almighty, we'll have to be, we'd have to get some millionaires donated to make up for that.
Yeah, if I was a millionaire, I would not. I'd be doing this pro already, but hey. On board with Blass, and he is up to 7th place. So he's managed to make a gain on Higgs Boson, and he's catching Roy Klopp slowly. So again, he's making his way in the points. Remember, the top 8 from each class this evening. And as I say that, Jamie, I've noticed we're down to 9 cars in the LMPs now. So lost another one from the LMPs. Maybe it was a crash or something, or computer's gone wrong. Maybe someone in the Stream chat or Steam chat or Discord chat can do a bit of research. Johnny OneNote, I've just seen pop up, says I knew I'd get taken out early, lol. So Johnny OneNote seems to have some sort of crash and has exited the race because of it. So it's an interesting one for me, Jamie. Obviously, we sit back and watch these races. I'll be interested to know people's thoughts on the chat. But with an hour-long race, you get taken out early, and there's points up for grabs here. You only got to come in the top 8. Other people might have crashes too. Why wouldn't you just grab yourself in the pits quickly and try and get back on and go again? That's just my...
well, we've seen... Yeah, exactly. There's so much time, and it only takes a few people to drop out and you're in the points. Absolutely. Like we've seen with Area there, he had to make that early pit stop, but he's fought back up, to 19th, but obviously not in overall racing.
Yeah.
But he's going well. Lang out of place currently in the LMP, down in 18th, but that's because he had a long pit stop. As we see Mad Knight lose it. Oh dear. I shouldn't have been watching him. No,
the curse of the camera strikes, and we will try and bring you a replay of that. But Lang is gone as well. And Lang, of course,
he's still in there. He's still here.
Oh no,
he's just dropped down because he had a very long pit stop. So he is still down there, but he's in 18th, so he's in the mix with the GTs, which is obviously out of place.
Yes.
But he was in the pits for a long time, so I'm not sure why.
Yes.
As we see Seb H here, just on the tail of Ayrton Benner again. It's still, T-Mac's got a 4 or 5 second lead now, but it's not unreachable. But he just seems so, so consistent, doesn't he? He doesn't have a head's gone moment.
No, we've not seen that from T-Mac once, to be fair. He keeps a very, very cool head. And everyone in the chat has just jinxed Mad Knife. Mr. Salk says, whoa, Kev's in 6th place, great stuff, as he spins out. And the replay
oh, good. Salty can take the blame for jinxing that rather than me, then. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah. But, Jamie, it's not just Mr. Salt showing the love with the donations tonight.
Isn't it?
Not Benjamin's got involved. And just says, heads gone, with the $5 donation. So that is
fantastic,
awesome stuff. Not Benjamin, and of course, very much appreciate. We're just loving it. We're very much feeding the love here in the Noob Gamer studio. Everyone's getting involved. Everyone's obviously so excited for the week ahead. Going back to work on Monday and just feeling the love.
Really?
That's what it is, yeah.
There's something in the water, I think.
Something in the water. But Jamie, interesting one from my point of view. Don Titor, he is 4 seconds behind, but look at that last lap time. Over a second from Area Motorsport and Don Titor, so they are catching T-Mac.
I wonder if the speed, the time was going down really quick there. It must have just been where they were on the track, but this time is moving like crazy. Yeah, it was about 5 seconds a lap ago, and he's pulled it into the threes. Obviously T-Mac, as I said, he's Mr. Consistent, had a little wobble there.
Yeah, interesting stuff. We'll keep an eye on those times from T-Mac, because they are slowly falling. But, it was around the 5 seconds, as Jamie said. Now we're under the 3 second mark. So whether T-Mac's picked up a problem or he's just a little bit ropey around a few corners, whatever it is. Or, of course, hey, we should give some credit to Don Titor. Don Titor, it could just be driving out of his skin and absolutely gunning for that first place. So whatever's happening, that lead is shrinking. So we will try and keep an eye on that. Bob Hump is still leading the way in the GTEs. He's managed to pull a decent time now, so he's got about just under a 4 second lead away from Bibby. When you look at the last lap times, it's been very solid from him. He's got the quickest last lap than any of the GTs. So he's found his rhythm now, Jamie, and hopefully for him, he'll be able to continue this into the rest of the race.
Yeah, he is absolutely in the zone, isn't he? It's interesting though, they do look very slow when you jump on board with them after being on board with the LMPs. I have to say, they look like they're driving in tar or something. Just a quick note that the alert system that's built into Project Cars 2 that gives me a little exclamation mark next to people when they're in close battles is having a tough time with this multi-class, because obviously every time an LMP goes past a GT, it thinks they're in a battle, so it's a bit misleading for where the actual battles on the track are. So you just have to bear with us tonight, I think. We'll be jumping around a lot.
Yes, I think that's just the nature of this multi-class racing, but hopefully so far we brought you all the important action so far. But we're on board with Seb H, and as we've said earlier, Jamie, he is slowly catching Artem Benner. So again, like we see the lead at the top going down. As I say that, he goes off the track.
We've got to stop doing this, right?
Got to stop doing that. Let's just cut the cameras off, let everyone race, and just see what happens at the end. Lang again on the track, on the camera. Every time we flip something at the moment, they seem to be going. But he's going to navigate his way around the GT.
It's one way to do it.
Yeah, that is one way to do it, just going off the track completely. But Lang at the moment finds himself.
He's in 17th. He's out of place because of the pit stop, like we were saying. So, but he should be blitzing through this pack now.
Yeah.
So the field's quite spread out now. There's no sort of close battles on the go. But obviously, as we know, some have pit, some haven't. Unfortunately, the game doesn't give us a great way of seeing who's made a stop or not. But certainly the leaders haven't. We know Bob, Bibby haven't. We know T-Mac and Dontes or Artem Benner and Seb H haven't. So there's still that to come, and there's all of these overtakes. As we see, it can be quite difficult. Lang is actually holding up another LMP car now, as he's held up himself by a GTE car. So there's lots to think about for these guys, isn't there?
Yeah, loads to think about. Remember, as Jamie said, it is mandatory pit stops all around this evening. Although we have seen some people go for an early pit, there's still a lot of pits to come. And yeah, unfortunately, Project Cars 2 doesn't give us the best information to let us know who's pitted, but we'll try and keep an eye on it. But we're in the cockpit of Mr. Brisket, a new racer to the stream, who's currently driving in the second class of cars and finds himself in 5th place in that category. So it's a pretty decent start for him so far, and he is hot on the tail of another new racer. OT Milo goes on the inside but overcooks it slightly and doesn't quite manage to make the pass. So clearly Jamie had the speed but not quite enough manoeuvrability to keep it on the track.
I think it looked like he was actually perhaps a bit caught out by how open the door was there for him. I think he was expecting a bit of a stronger defence, and he outbraked himself into that corner. But yeah, he clearly seems like he's got the speed on what's the name, Milo there. So that's one to watch for the future, as Milo goes a little bit wider and perhaps gives him the opportunity. Benjamin, yeah, that was I think Lang being lapped by another LMP car. He's very out of position with that long pit stop, so we'll have to try and find out what happened there after the race.
Still 42 minutes remaining of this race, plenty of time left, and T-Mac has managed to stretch his lead back out to the 6-second mark, as both these guys who are racing for this position go off the track. They're almost in tandem at the moment, but Mr. Brisket is coming in quick. He's hot on the tail of OTL Milo. Is he going to go on the inside again? Yes, he does. Doesn't overcook it this time and takes the position. So Mr. Brisket up to 4th place in the GTs, and it was a really good manoeuvre on the inside there, Jamie.
Yeah, it was a good manoeuvre. Yeah, he got the move done. He forced his way through a bit there, but it needed to happen. Just as we just see, Bibby has got himself just a 1-second penalty there, but he at the moment is Bob's closest challenger. As we see, Mr. Brisket makes the move and then goes straight in the pit. So fair enough. Fair enough.
Interesting tactics. But yeah, on board with Bibby. He's 3 seconds behind Bob at the moment. But those times, of course, hey, you can gain 3 seconds in the pit, so that could still be a possibility later on in the race. It is mandatory pit stops, so obviously it's up to the racers what they want to do, whether they want to actually do anything in the pits. They might just simply drive through it to tick a box. It's entirely up to them what they think is best for the race ahead. But thank you for joining us here on the Noob Gamers Live Twitch channel. If you've just joined us, we've got 41 minutes left of this multi-class race, so still plenty of time with lots of action still ahead of us. But yeah, big up everyone who's sat at home on their Sunday evening, tuned in to the racing that we're bringing you. Jimmy Tulipan has joined us in the chat. Just says thanks, Odyssey. Bibby got a penalty too. So Jimmy Tulipan, who was of course meant to be racing on this, and it'll be interesting to know why Jimmy isn't in the race. If you
I
can
think
give
he
us.
forgot to press ready in time, so he didn't start the race, which is the most annoying reason I imagine for him. Sat there, so very sorry about that, Jimmy. Hopefully you'll be there next race.
Yeah, that is so unfortunate, but yeah, we're sticking on board with Bibby for the time being. You can see that gap he's got ahead of Captain Callie at the moment, 25 seconds.
Yeah.
So the 1-2 at the moment in the GTEs is looking pretty secure so far. But his lap times, Jamie, are better than Bob's still.
Yeah. Well, that's
as I say that
2:07 there. Yeah, well, that includes the 1 second penalty he got that lap. Yeah, that's why I've stuck on with him, because it's a really fascinating battle here, because they're sort of trading times. One lap, Bob's half a second quicker the next lap. Bibby has that gap staying about 3 seconds every time, on average. So, but it's really interesting because they're very clearly evenly matched on pace. But Bob at the moment doing everything he needs to do, keeping his head cool, staying out in front. He'll be absolutely loving it. We know he was quite disappointed not to be right at the sharp end in the last Sunday race, wasn't he? So he'll be really enjoying this. He's clearly put the practice in, and it's paying dividends. But we know Bibby's quick. It's just a shame that Area Motorsport got that little knock, because we could have seen a fantastic three-way battle here.
Yeah, obviously we had that earlier incident with Bob. You know, he got overtaken and just trying to nip back on the inside, get his position back, and just nudged Area Motorsport off the track as Don Tito nearly collides with the racer ahead. And that just shows just simply how quick these cars are in the speed going down there. You know, the manoeuvrability needed there to make sure he didn't smash into the back was top notch. So Don Tito has done really, really well there, as he's holding on to a really solid second place. Of course, this is just race one of a 4-week league. So hey, even if you don't win this one, or even if you do win this one, it's still points on your table. It's 10 points for a win, 8 points for second, and it's 6 for third. So a decent amount of points, Jamie, even for just getting in the top 3, which you could take into the next few weeks.
Really important, yeah. Some great help from the guys on the chat tonight again, who have been fantastic. Mr. Salt pointing out, of course, Area Motorsport, even though he had the early knock and dropped out of the battle, he has made his pit stop, so he doesn't have to pit again. He is, however, a minute behind at the moment, Bibby and Bob. So it's a long way to catch up. I'm not sure how long a pit stop here is, but he's in the 2:04s. He's got clear track. We know he's super fast, so you never know. He could, at the end of the race, be back in contention, which would be great.
Yeah, he's, I mean, with a 2:04 lap time, he's blowing the field away around him. You look at, you know, OTL Milo with 2:10s, you've got Captain Callie ahead of him with a 2:09. You know, he's 5, 6, 7 seconds gaining here every single lap, and it's only a matter of time before he starts churning his way through the pack. And as you said, Jamie, you know, as people of the channel have told us and reminded us, he has pitted. We're on board with Artem
we've
Bennett.
Seen a swap.
Go on.
Sorry, Ryan. We've seen a swap in positions here, because Artem Bennett was in third originally, wasn't he? And Seb H was following him for a long time, but they've swapped positions here, and there was a few GTs in the mix. So I wonder whether something's happened there that has caused them to swap those positions.
And interestingly, Artem Bennett also picked up a penalty, which could, of course, have been only a second.
Yes, he's probably gone wide, and yeah.
A little nudge or something, has just picked up a tiny little penalty and lost the position at the same time. So really unfortunate there from Artem Bennett, but hey, the lap times from him is still in the 1:44s, just under Seb at the moment, so he's still got plenty of time left to catch him, as long as he can get his foot down and start catching up. So we're going to have to see that indeed. Mr. Salt says he's a proper dark horse, depends on how much damage he suffered with that coming together with Bob. QQ Marmite, love or hate? I mean, I
assume that's a quick question, is it?
Yeah, I hate this stuff myself. You, Jamie?
Not for me. I'm not a fan. I'll leave that to Mr. Salt.
What about you, Mr. Salt? Are you a hater or a lover of the Marmite stuff?
I wouldn't say I hate it. I'm just, I'm not going to actively search it out.
What, so if you just like stumble across it, I'll have a bit of that.
Nah, but like if it's there, I probably have give it a try or something. But I'm not going to like buy a couple of jars every week. Not like Wolfie's porridge, Ryan.
Yes. I mean,
which I buy all the time, of course.
Yeah, we're always buying Wolfie's porridge here on the Noob Gaming Stream. Of course, our very first corporate sponsor, showing us the love on the channel, which of course we very much appreciate. And if you're a corporate sponsor out there and you want to get I'm not going to go involved with that sort of
Good
stuff.
voice.
Great
Good
voice, doesn't it? Yeah, great little
Is Ayrton Benner, look. He's
infomercial.
caught right back up to Seb H already.
Yes, so back to the racing away from Marmite. We love it or hate it. We certainly love it here on this channel, the amount of racing we get to see. And Ayrton Benner is being helped
Fascinating.
with the GTE holding up Seb H in third. So Ayrton Benner's going to have a right good run at Seb H here. He's only half a second behind, and that is not a lot of time in these cars at all, Jamie. We could see a pass coming up soon.
Well, Seb obviously got them placed, didn't he, a lap or two ago, and there was about a 2 or 3 second gap, but Ayrton Benner's caught that right back up with the help of that GTE car, who really was making life difficult for Seb. You know, well, not on purpose, of course, but he was, Seb was just the bad part of the track to catch him in. I really thought that was going to cause havoc there, but they both managed to navigate that. Some great driving from that GTE driver to get out of the way there.
Yeah, of course, yeah. They don't have to get out of the way, remember. It's all up to the LMPs to get round.
No, true.
So, hey, if you can't find your way round at the right time, it sucks to be you, basically. And Seb H, has fallen foul of... Oh, we see a little bit of lag there from Bibby going around the track. But yeah, Seb H falling foul of that ruling, and Ayrton Benner manages to catch up really close. So we could see some great racing there. Area Motorsport is still in the 205s, and he's taken over. Back up to third. He's rinsed through that pack. Doing really well. And Bibby, I mean, there's still a minute behind, but as has been pointed out a few times, there's still pit stops to come from Bob and Bibby. So anything could happen, but we're jumping back on board with this race for third place, and it's Ayrton Benner attacking Seb H still, just trying to keep up with the pace at the moment, because Seb H, to be fair to him, seems to be slowly pulling away here.
It's settled down, hasn't it? There was a bit of chaos with that GTE car in the way, but it does seem like they've settled into their rhythm that they were in before for most of the race, until they swap positions, but it's just now the other way around. So Ayrton is now the attacker rather than the defender, so let's see how he does in that new role.
Yeah, it's great to see some racing on our screens here. The long races do provide all sorts of action, but when we've got close racing like this, we're going to try and stick with it as much as we can. So Ayrton Benner here in fourth place. He does have a minor penalty. It is only a second, so come the end of the race, who knows if that's actually going to make any difference. But with just a second splitting these two, it is a fantastic race to keep up with, and we've seen these two go at it plenty of times before, and we know when it comes down to pure racing ability, there's not a lot between them, is there?
Yeah, they're really, really evenly matched. I just want to give a quick shout out to Invertigo. He's not someone we normally see right up there. He's in an absolutely really solid 5th position with a good gap behind him. He's having a cracking race. So one of our regular racers, so it's good to see him up there, so fair play to him. We'll just jump back with this GTE top of the table clash as well, because Bibby, he's edging closer. Bob is that little bit bigger in the viewpoint there.
Yeah, nearly a second now splitting between those two. But yeah, great shout out for Invertigo there, of course. Raced in our very first season with the Noob Gamers and did really well in 5th place. And he's ahead of Higgs Boson, Roy Klotz, Cali, Blast. There's really good races there. So he's having a fantastic race himself. But as well as the battle for third place in the LMPs, it looks like here, as Jamie points out, Bibby's catching Bob for first place in the GTE. So we've got 2 races on our hands at the same time, and we're going to have to flick between both to see how this goes. But we could have 2 potential overtakes going on at the same time here, so let's see what happens. But Ayrton Benner is getting very close to Seb, and I think this could be, of the 2 battles we've got going live at the moment, the one to keep an eye on at the moment. So we're going to just watch these next few corners and see what gains Ayrton Benner can make. And he is hot on the tail of Seb H, and it's only going to take a little wobble from Seb H to open the door, but at the moment he's holding fast as we see a part of a car on the side of the track, and he's got the run. No, he's not got the run. Seb H has pitted.
Seb's in the pits. Oh,
and opened the door. So Ayrton Benner is doing well to catch, but...
And T-Mac in as well. Oh, T-Mac's out. He's gone.
What?
T-Mac's gone.
T-Mac's on his back.
He's on the roof. Oh, no.
So T-Mac's returned to the pits. He was on his roof. I don't know whether that was some sort of error or something, but T-Mac seemingly on his roof, and he's out of the race.
I can't believe it. He's gone.
Whoa!
The absolute favourite.
Big news T-Mac is out of the race. I've triggered a replay so we can just confirm that was T-Mac on his back. We haven't been featuring T-Mac recently because he's had so much time ahead, but he's out of the race. So, yeah, I mean, I'm with Mr. Salt here. We can only presume he's hit a GTE or something.
Well, it was Dom Teetle was nowhere near him, so it wasn't a battle for position. I'd be very surprised if he flipped it on his own. Well, I suppose he could have, but if that's a GTE, he's going to be absolutely livid.
Yeah, there could be some repercussions there. Rolfie says it's just put...
Was it Bibby? Because Bibby did lose a chunk of time, so it could have been.
Yeah, Bibby's now 8 seconds off, Bob.
Yeah.
So we could perhaps, while we were just watching that battle with Artem Benner and Seb H, we've obviously missed a major incident that's happened there, and wow.
That has spiced it up.
That has spiced it up. That certainly shocked me to flick the T-Mac and see him on his roof. Hopefully we can get someone trying to find out what's gone on while we're bringing you all the race in action, whether they're in the Steam chat or Discord or whatever. But yeah, if we can get any information on what's happened there from anyone out there, that would be very much appreciated. But as Mr. Salt points out, Bibby's got no damage, so...
yeah, I wouldn't want to presume that it was Bibby.
No.
I mean, he might have just had a spin there. He did lose... I had noticed he'd lost an 8 or 9 second gap to Bob, who was now pitted, actually. Bob's made his pit, so he's gone before Bibby. So it's really important now that Bibby gets his foot down, puts as a quicker lap as possible in to try and make up for that pit delta. But yeah, I mean, that's given Don Teetle the lead with a 7-second gap to Ayrton Bennett. Seb's made his pit stop, as we know. I mean, this is a really good battle for the first race now and the second race.
Yeah,
but
just to interlude quickly, Jamie, I've just noticed in Vertigo is up to third, now obviously ahead of Seb H, who's pitted. So Seb H, of course, he's actually decided to pit well ahead of everyone at the top, and I wonder whether that strategy is going to pay off in the long term.
Yeah, it could do. We saw him go for a different pit strategy in the last race, didn't we? But here he is making a move on. Is this Roy Clark? Oh no, it's one of the GTs. I imagine he'll be up past, as we see in Vertigo's coming into the pits now as well. So we'll get that place back. The key one will be, when does Ayrton Benner come to the pits? That'll be the interesting one. And the same with the GTs. When does Bibby come to the pits? So it's a couple of really important laps now for the lead of both tiers.
Indeed, yes. Lots of action here. It's suddenly kicked up a notch on the stream here this evening. There's some calls on the chat to check out Langerland's car, but Artem Benner is trying to get round someone. I'm trying to work out who that is. Of course, it's not Don Teetle, but it might be Langerland who's towards, he's well down. Is Langerland still in the race? He's not.
No, he's gone. He's gone, actually. He's gone as well.
Langerland's gone as well. So not him. So yeah, lots of us to keep, loads of things to keep an eye on here in this race. We've got pit stops going on. Of course, we've got 2 classes going on. And yeah, absolutely crazy scenes as we lose race leader to what we believe is some sort of crash, which has ended up on the roof. So we're in the cockpit of Bob Hump. He's now pitted, did you say, Jamie?
He has pitted, so now he's on his out lap. So it's really important he makes the best use of those fresh tyres as he can, and puts down some cracking times to build that gap to Bibby for who is now in the pits himself, actually.
So,
so we'll have to...
Bibby is now in the pit, so Bob has the opportunity to catch back up. So we're going to try and keep an eye on this pit stop as much as we can. Looks like Bibby's going to get out of there soon, but Bob Hump coming down that home straight at the moment. And I think Jamie's going to end up being ahead of Bibby here.
Looks like it. Bibby, let's just jump to him quick. Yeah, he's still in. So Bob's flash, we see flash pass there in the yellow car. So Bob played it really, really well so far. He hasn't put a foot wrong. Qualified first, stayed first, pitted first, driven a great race so far. So he absolutely deserves this win at the moment. Yeah,
interesting point from Odyssey, suggesting we could check the replay of the race after the race to see what happened to T-Mac. So if anyone can remember the timings, we can see if we can scroll through that and see if we can have a proper analysis, use the analysis suite like it's meant to be done. Yeah, indeed.
Well, we need Odyssey as our analysis guy putting together clips during the race for us to review after, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But Mad Thundercat and Mr. Salt have just come in saying, what's happened to Mad Knife? Mad Knife
was in the pits last time I saw, and he's back out now. So he just made his pit stop. So yeah, nothing. I don't think anything untoward's happened.
Okay, yeah, you can see the time difference between them at the moment. Must have been some sort of pit. 2:25.
He was in the pits,
yeah,
yeah.
miles
He was in the pits.
miles behind everyone else. So that's obviously where the place is. But everyone ahead of him, with the exception of the top two, I believe, are still yet to pit. So as Area Motorsport pitted, obviously early doors, didn't he? I believe.
And he's got the place back on Bibby. So Bibby is pit and come out behind Area Motorsport. So what an amazing long-term strategy recovery from Area Motorsport. He pitted super early. Of course, what that does is put him potentially on the back foot in the last, say, 10 minutes of the race. His tyres are going to be a lot older than Bibby's. So is that going to give Bibby the opportunity to get back? But great pace from Area to get back into second place.
Yeah, really good. So it looks like Don Titor and Artem Benner are both in the pits now on the LMP. So they're choosing their time wisely to get stuck into that. So Seb H has now the opportunity to catch up Artem Benner. We might have a little switch over in the pits there. Don Titor looks like he's coming out now, but we're on board with Bibby at the moment, who is chasing hard to Area Motorsport in second place. There's not much splitting them at all. While this race is going on, I'm just keeping my eyes on the leaderboards at the left to see how they come out of the pits, and it looks like Seb's up to third, Arten is out of the pits, and Don's out of the pits, and we haven't seen much movement
settled
there, so it's all been settled down.
Vertigo, they're a solid fourth. Look at him go with T-Mac dropping out up into fourth. Great position. And Bob has managed to get himself an absolutely massive lead. A sort of 25-second lead now, so that pit stop window's really worked out for him.
Indeed.
We said Trevor's saying that Bob didn't change his tyres when the others did, I think. So that will be interesting to see come the end of the race. Is that a mistake from Bob, or has he played it perfectly?
Who knows? And also, some mentioned that Area Motorsport tyres will be shot because, of course, he went in quite early in the pits, didn't he? So he's going to have a similar issue to Bob, I would have thought. But
well, that's what I was saying. Yeah. He's forced into it, but he's got track position back, so it's now a battle to the end for him. But it looks like Bibby's straight on his tail already with the fresh tyres, of course.
Yes. So 24 minutes just under of this race to go, and despite it being a long race, we've had action all throughout, and I'm sure we've still got a lot of action to come. You can see the time splits between Area Motorsport and Bibby, and it looks like Bibby's going to have an attack here. So Bibby's getting very, very close. Are we going to see a move for second place in the GTEs? He's going to try. It looked like he was going to line himself up to go down the inside. Doesn't choose to go just yet, but clearly has the pace here. And surely, Jamie, it's just a matter of time before there's a manoeuvre here.
It is, and I feel for Area because he's driven fantastically to recover from what happened in the very first lap of the race. Let's not forget, through no fault of his own. But his tyres, he's been on these tyres for 30 minutes now, 35 minutes. So he's not going to have anywhere near the grip that Bibby's going to have. So it seems inevitable. There's 23 minutes left. If he manages to hold this for 23 minutes, then that is a hero's performance. But and as you can see, a lock up there, those tyres are going. He may even be forced to come in again because he had to pit so early. Just interesting. A couple of shouts in the chat for whether Bob actually fueled or put tyres on, but maybe he just did the quick run through the pits because his gap to Bibby was about 8 seconds, wasn't it? And when we came out the pits, it's almost 30 seconds. So that does suggest that Bob did something different in the pits. So that's going to be really interesting come the end of the race. It might be a case that Bibby's able to catch up with him on those fresh tyres. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly interesting tactics from Bob if that is the case, because there's still a long way to go in this race. But at the moment, Area Motorsport on those slightly more damaged tyres than Bibby is holding off the challenges at the moment. And as you've been speaking there, Jamie, 2 new subscribes to the channel. Mr. Salt feeling the love, dropping us a subscribe with Twitch Prime. Of course, if you're an Amazon Prime user, you do get 1 free subscription every single month, and Mr. Salt has decided to drop that on us, and so has Odyssey, and he subscribed for his 5th month in a row. So big up those boys. Let's drop them some love in the chat. And there's a spin. Area Motorsport, the tyres have paid the price in his positioning on the track, and we saw a spin which has given up second place. So there we have it, Bibby up into second, and Trevor on the chat says he was just going to do a stop and go. So your suspicions are correct.
Yeah.
The tyres of Bob are not going to be quite what Bibby's are. There's only 2 seconds split in them with 21 minutes to go.
There's about 25 seconds split.
Oh, 25, sorry, I was looking at the wrong split.
Yeah, yeah, I know, the timings are a bit weird because of the two classes,
Yeah.
but yeah, so this is actually going to be a fantastic finish because we've got 20 minutes to go. They've both gone for completely different strategies. Bibby's chosen to refresh everything. Bob's not. He's now in clean air, Bibby. Now he's got that pass done. He's got 20 minutes to do it. Bob's still doing solid 205, so it's going to be a tall order. But come the end of the race, are those tyres going to be shot from Bob? We could be on for an absolute grandstand finish in the GTEs.
We could do indeed. And as we're speaking now, Jamie T-Mac has joined the chat and says, well, that was a kick in the dick. And of course, we all want to know what the hell happened, T-Mac. Please, please, please fill us in because we did not see what happened. All we saw was you on your back. So any information would be very much appreciated on the stream. But yeah, racing so well and all of a sudden dropping out of the race. So any information appreciated. But we're on board with Artem Benner. And Jamie, you have to have a look at the time difference between him and Don Titor. You have to say Artem Benner's catching him.
Well, in terms of lap times,
well, in terms of overall, I think he was like 8-9 seconds at one point, and just as we clicked on there, and it was down to sort of 6-7. But again, Don Titor's now gained it back up, so fluctuating. It
I think with the curves and on these cars, it gives them that insane speed boost on the straights. It depends whether you're on a corner or on a straight, and the times obviously are a good second. They just switch between a good second or so very rapidly. So it's hard to tell, really, apart from visually, how close you really are. But yeah, in terms of lap times, they're pretty similar, both in the 44s. Seb H, though, in the 43s behind them. He's 15 seconds off the lead. You know, we know he's quick. These top three guys are all unbelievably fast. Again, we've got a grandstand finish coming in the GTs and potentially one in the LMPs as well.
Yeah, lots of action here to go. But Seb H, as you said that, Jamie, has put a 1:43 down. But as you were speaking, it did flash up with a penalty on Seb H. So I wonder what that was for and how many seconds it is for, because that could provide a factor towards the back end. It was only a second, so it might have just been, you know, some erratic driving from Seb H there, which has given him the extra speed on the lap, but it's cost him that second there. So T-Mac says he was lapping a GTE, and apparently he lost it on the second last corner and hit him, and it went into orbit. So that is the call from T-Mac. Of course, we've got to check the replays. But yeah, passing a GTE as we thought, and there's seemingly been a collision. So yeah, but as I said, Mr. Salt comes straight in and says Bibby lost a ton of time but has no damage. So we were certainly
we've lost Bibby. Yeah. We've lost Bibby from the race completely.
Oh, we've lost Bibby from the race completely.
He's gone.
Is that literally in the last few seconds while I was just speaking there?
He's just disappeared, yeah. So Bob is now first in the area, a long way back in second. So what that effectively does is hands Bob this victory without much of a challenge if he can just keep it on the track.
Yeah, crazy.
We know Aries tyres are shot as well, so those two are, those two are in for a first and second, and all they've got to do is bring it home now.
Yeah, interesting stuff. So hey, this has been a really crazy night of people dropping out left, right and centre for a variety of reasons. We started the evening with 26 cars and we're down to 19, so a few casualties. Yeah, real shame to see people drop out. And again, if we can find out what happened to Bibby, we'd love to know if anyone can, Bibby might even come on the chat and tell him himself. But we're in the cockpit of Higgs Boson. He's in 7th place at the moment, just inside the points. Just a few seconds behind Rory Klopp, so got some catching up to do as he's making his way around the GTs. He can of course see him down that straight, but with 17 minutes of the race to go, 2 seconds is not a lot of time to catch up. So
he does have a 10-second penalty though, Higgs Boson.
10 seconds, okay.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Interesting.
Is it worth, Ryan, mentioning, we can see actually, we forgot to mention earlier, all the lights are coming on and it's getting darker out there.
Yeah, so we do have accelerated time here this evening, so the lights are on, as Jamie rightly points out, and it is getting darker, so something else for the racers to consider going around the track this evening. And I'm sure for the next 16 minutes of this race, it's going to get darker still. So, if you're not really concentrating yet, you better turn that concentration up a notch because the darkness is starting to creep in. We're on board with Sin at the moment. Sin not really challenging the top places, but still within the points in 7th place at the moment. Mad Knight just behind him in 8th, so those boys are going to pick up some points if they can continue to stick in their places. So it'll be 2 points for Sin and 1 point for Mad Knight. So hey, all important points, because this is of course just week 1 of a 4-week championship. So even a point at this stage of the game, as we've seen in previous championships, could make all the difference. So why not hold on to position where you can? OTL Milo currently in 6th place in the GTs, a new racer to the stream with Mr. Brisket in 5th. Is Captain Callie in 4th, with Legionary in 3rd, and Area Motorsport and Bob taking the top 2 in the GTs at the moment. Don Titor leads the way in the LMPs. This area, Artem Benner in the LMPs as well in 2nd place, with Seb just in behind. Blas has got himself up to 4th place, with Invertigo in 5th at the moment, and it's Roy Klops, Higgs Boson, Callie all in the LMPs to close off that. And everyone in the LMPs now will get at least 1 point, because there's only 8 races left in that class. So as long as they can finish the race, they're guaranteed some points here this evening. So really important for them to keep it nice and clean and ensure they finish the race. So lots still to go, Jamie, and it looks like OTL is catching Mr. Brisket.
Yeah, and it looks like Ayrton and Seb are both... Oh, it's just gone slightly back up again. He's fluctuating like mad. They were both clawing in on Don Titor. Ayrton Benner especially was into the 4 seconds. Yeah, and there could be a battle for the last podium position in the GTEs with Callie and Legionary. Pretty close, only 5 seconds behind them. Captain Callie looks like he's got a bit of a wonky front bonnet there. So he's been having a bit of fun out on the track. What a shame to ruin that beautiful car. But... yeah, it could be good. I'm pleased for Area, because obviously he's managed to keep it calm after that first lap issue, which wasn't his fault at all. It looks like he's going to bring home a really solid 2nd place, which, although he probably, he could have had the lead early doors, it'd probably be still pretty happy with a great 2nd place.
Yeah, but you look at those last lap times from Bob. He's 3 seconds ahead of him when it comes to last lap time. So
well, Areas, he's had a few things, hasn't he? He's probably got a bit of damage. He had to pit really early, so his tyres will be absolutely gone. He seemed like he had the speed at the start of the race, didn't he? I think without that incident, we would have seen much closer racing between those two and Bibi.
Yes, indeed.
But it gives us an idea of what we can look forward to in the coming weeks, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this has been an amazing stream so far, an amazing race, as Roy Klopp seems to give us a little bit of lag there, not sure what's quite going on. But yeah, this is, as we've said a few times, only week 1. Loads of incidents, loads of things to talk about from this one, which gives us a real good indication of what the next 4 weeks are going to hold for us. But as we were speaking, once again, a new donator joins the fray.
What is going on?
What is going on? And this time it is Odyssey 1989. Not only is he resubscribed for 5 months, he's dropped us a donation, $12.95. My friend Odyssey.
$12.95.
Incredible.
Why are all these
scenes.
Why is it all in dollars, right? Can you answer that?
So they are probably donating in pounds, but
okay.
The Streamlabs software that I'm using obviously converts it to dollars.
Right.
So they've probably gone, I don't know, I guess that's like, I don't know, 10, 11, I don't know the maths, but they're probably doing it in round numbers, and it's just chucking it out for us.
That's why it's such a random number.
Yes.
12.95
exactly.
or whatever. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because we had a 6.48 earlier.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, guys. It is absolutely much appreciated. I know how much Wolfish you could buy for that, Odyssey, and I know you're a big fan of the Wolfish, so that is appreciated.
Yes, indeed. Higgs Boson, we're in the camera view of at the moment, and the battle for 6th place in the LMPs is getting ever closer as he's clawing that time into Roy Klops. He's got him in his vision, and the back of those cars, the lighting on the back of those cars, I have to say, looks amazing. Great lights like that, just almost devil horns on the back of the car. Oh. And there's a spin. Roy Klops has taken a spin and gone off the track, and Higgs Boson snaps up 6th place. So although we were jovial about the back of Roy Klops' car, unfortunately he lost the back of his car, and away he goes. So Roy Klops down into 7th, and Higgs Boson snaps up 6th.
But don't forget Higgs Boson with that 10-second penalty.
Yeah,
so as long as Roy Klops can stay within 10 seconds, he's golden.
He is golden indeed. So we'll bring you a replay of that coming in now. Odyssey said he actually donated 65,000 yen.
Some of the boys in chat have been getting their Google currency converter calculators out, haven't they?
Yes. Just looking back up the chat, A few little messages we missed out on. T-Mac says not ideal to what happened to him this evening, but he will of course come back next week and try to smash it. So I imagine he's not a very happy bunny considering the position he's in, but I'm sure he will come back stronger next week and give it everything he's got to fight for the top of the grid. But Not Benjamin says he's back, what have he missed? And Jamie, fill him in.
Well, the main news is that the man you'll notice who's in chat and not in the race, T-Mac, who we flashed to find him on his back on the side of the track. Unfortunately, with part of a collision with one of the GTE cars, Bibby, we think, who's also disappeared, but from a separate incident, which has given Don Tito the lead. And he was being reeled in by Ayrton Bennett, Ryan, and Seb H, but he seems like he's into the 142s there. Fantastic. He seems like he's got into the zone, and he's stretched that lead a bit more with 10 minutes to go. I don't want to jinx it for him, but it looks like this is his race to lose at the moment.
Yeah, it's all in the hands of Don Tito for the LMPs. As Drux joins us this evening, says hello all and good luck to the drivers. 10 minutes left of the race in the evening, Drux, and it's all still kicking off here. We've lost some drivers, we've had some crashes, we've had some malfunctions, but at the moment Don Tito leads the LMPs and Bob leads the GTEs. So they are your two leaders here this evening. But thank you for dropping by and having a little gander at what we're bringing on the stream this evening. But we're in the cockpit of Mr. Brisket, and he is catching Sin fast. Yeah. So he's in 7th place at the moment, and he's aiming for 6th place. So we're going to keep an eye on this race. They've got some quicker cars just ahead of them as well. So I think is that Milo just ahead of them as well? Just ahead of Sin?
No.
Or is that an LMP?
I don't think it's Milo. No, it's because he's a long way ahead on according to the track thing. Anyway, just whilst we're watching this, looks like Razvan Snell, Freddie has taken that last points position from Mad Knife.
Oh, so yeah, Razvan Snell, Freddie just up into 8th. Yeah. So
it is Milo.
Oh, it is Milo. So Milo.
So the timings are just all over the shop. Sorry, yeah, it is Milo.
Yeah, so we're not having much luck with the timings from Project Cars 2 at the moment, but we said the race for 6th place. It's actually the race for 5th place. We got 5th, 6th and 7th all really, really close in these GTs. Some valuable points up for grabs if someone can make a move on the other. So OTL Milo's got some holding off to do with 2 people coming up hard on behind him. And he's got just under 9 minutes left to hold on and keep these guys at bay. But Captain Cali is miles ahead, so there's no challenge for 4th. But Sin is catching him really, really fast. And just in behind him, of course, Mr. Brisket's catching as well. So we've got a fantastic race on our hands here, it seems.
Great 3-way battle, isn't it? Yeah, Stin's catching Milo and at the same time being caught himself. Yeah, on my screen, it's telling me that Milo's 35 seconds ahead of Sin. So I'm not sure what's going on there, because he quite clearly isn't. We can see him right there in the track there. So. And here comes some LMPs just to mix it up a bit. But Mr. Brisket has had to drop back, I think, because of those LMPs go back. As we see one of them going very wide. It must be hard to take the corner.
Whoa!
And there's a big crash. Oh my days.
We've got some collisions
and that was
on
Sin.
The track. Sin gets caught up
Sin
in
and
the
an
mix,
LMP.
takes out an LMP, or an LMP takes out him. Not sure which way round it was, but OTL Milo manages to nip in between them both and manages to keep himself on the track, and we will bring you a replay of that ahead. But wow, that's just the speeds that these cars are going at, and that's how easy it is just to lose it. But incredible scenes here. You know, we've seen T-Mac fall foul of some issues with the GTs. Of course, you know, we didn't see enough of that to know whose fault that was, but hey, still a crash, still cost people some places, and of course, you know, it could cost you some damage to your car as well for the future of your race as well. So Sin not having a good time there at all.
Obviously, we don't know whose fault that was. We just saw that in the distance, didn't we? But really, really sorry for Sin, because he was really looked like he was pushing for that 6th place then, which would have been a great result in the GTs. So we'll have to find out again what happened after. Whether that was just a racing incident or not, but really unlucky. I'm not sure who the LMP was, Ryan. Do we know? Probably not.
No, don't think we know. Yeah, really hard to tell for us here. We don't quite have all the information at hand, but yeah, hard to judge. Mr. Salt says the performance gains are so massive, it's hard to judge. Yes,
great point.
It is indeed. We're on board with Captain Cali. He's in 4th place at the moment, and he's only a couple of seconds behind Legionary in 3rd. And remember, Legionary does have a penalty. I think it's only a second, Jamie, if you could just have a quick flick on 2 seconds. Okay, so makes things interesting for Captain Cali in 4th. He's got 2 seconds on Legionary. If he can stay within inside that 2 second as he spins, and the curse of the camera strikes again, and Captain Cali is off the track. What is it with us this evening, Jamie? Every time we seem to flick to someone. I mean, it's great for the action, but really unfortunate for the drivers. So
yeah, who don't we like? Let's have a vote in chat. Who don't you like the most? We'll flick to them and see what happens. I'm only joking. We started with 26 races, Benji. 26 races earlier. I think there were 12 LMPs, were there? And it must have been 14 GTEs. Was that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Something like that.
And as the guys are pointing out, just a track reset used there by Captain Cali to come on camera that we saw, starting just flashing himself right in the middle of the track, and rightly so being pointed out as dangerous. There's also some shouts to go to Bob.
I've gone. What's happened?
Why are we on Bob? Oh, they want him to spin out, that's why.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, of course, I forgot I'd asked for that. Poor little Bobby. They're meant to be his mates. Let's see what happens. He's got his reversing camera going. So let's see what happens. See if he bins it. There's been absolutely no sign of that, Ryan, has there? I have to say, he's driven a flawless race, and he fully deserves that victory. Wow. Actually, saying that, I'd forgotten the first lap there. Yeah, I'd just forgotten about that. Okay, from lap 2 onwards, he's driven a flawless race. Yeah.
Trevor's saying, quick, get off of him, we don't want to see him spinning. But no, right. Bob, to be fair, since that earlier incident, has driven really, really well, so fair play to him. But yeah, that track reset there from Captain Cali, jumping straight in the middle of the track, could have caused all sorts of problems. But Razensnell Freddy finds himself in the points, just a single point he'll pick up, but all valuable all the same. In 8th place, he's a few seconds behind Sin as he goes off the track again. Curse of the camera strikes him, but Mad Knife doesn't seem like he's got enough time to claw that 13-second difference and get himself in the points. So at the moment, it will be Razensnell Freddy who takes that final position in the GTEs. But hey, he might still catch Sin. You know, Sin could well have some sizable damage on his car from that incident that we saw just earlier on, a few moments ago. And you can see the times between them, actually, Jamie. And he's catching him fast, but Artem Benner's also had a spin.
Let Seb through.
And has let Seb through in a second. And again, we had no notifications of any, racing between the two of them. So we can only imagine it is just a simple spin on a corner. And
it was about an 8-second gap.
Yeah, he's lost some position. So Artem Benner's going to be furious with himself if it's just a simple error from him. But yeah, really unfortunate, and he finds himself now in 3rd place, so only 6 points instead of the 8. He was due to pick up if he carried on in 2nd place, but there's some talk still about that reset going on.
They're not happy,
are
they?
They're certainly not very happy. On all leagues I've been in, resets are not allowed. So, yeah, hey, that's one for T-Mac, I'm sure.
To answer.
He can answer that one and decide what he wants to do going forwards. But we're on board with Artem Benner, who took a spin. He's still only a few seconds behind Seb, though. There's 3 minutes left of the race. If he puts some decent laps together over the next few minutes, he might be able to catch.
Both 1 second penalty, so that's... Yeah. Can you remember, this is like the other race, isn't it? Right near the end with these two looking at their penalties relative to each other. Yeah, it brings back memories.
Great memories, of course, on the stream, but hopefully with the weeks to come we can create some new ones, and we've certainly seen some incidents here this evening that will last long in the memory. And of course we'll have a review of the replays after this, just to remind ourselves of some of the action we had. But we're on board with Captain Cali in the car in front.
There's Legionary gone.
The curse of the camera strikes again, and Legionary finds himself off the track, giving up 3rd place, and says, here's an open door, Cali, drive straight through. And of course Captain Cali obliges. So 3rd place for Captain Cali at the moment. OTL Milo in 5th. He's going to try and capitalise on that spin from Legionary, but might just be slightly too far away to make real gains. But I'm sure with the amount of time left, he's going to try his best to catch up as best he can. So we'll keep an eye on that. And, you can see those times are dropping quite quickly, actually. So OTL Milo is catching really, really quickly. It's only a second, it's telling me, in between. Has Legionary gone in the pits? Yes, Legionary's in the pits.
Yes.
So OTL Milo up in the 4th. Yeah, really interesting for Legionary.
With only 2 minutes left.
2 minutes left. He's jumped in the pits. I can't imagine he got damage from just spinning there. So
he's losing a ton of places. He might even drop out the points, depending what's the damage. Yeah, very interesting decision. it must have been, you know, almost impossible to drive. Otherwise, with only 2 minutes to go, he could have held on to fourth place there, couldn't he?
Yes, indeed. But Odyssey say Legionary didn't reset though. Hashtag honest driving, and certainly
they like that.
It's spurned up some chat because of the reset we saw earlier. But yeah, OTR Milo having a fantastic time of things so far. Finds himself in fourth place. Got some way to go to catch up Captain Cali, but he'll be really impressed with his fourth place so far in, of course, what is only week 1 of this multi-class championship. But Raz and Snell Freddy, we were just on board with them, was up to 6th. Legionary now dropped out of the points entirely, so Mad Knife takes 8th place. So Legionary's gone from 3rd all the way out of the points because he must have had some damage or something that's caused him to.
It's interesting though because he didn't have a crash or anything. We saw it, didn't we? We caught it live. He just had a little spin with himself into the grass and then he got going again. Maybe his tyres were completely shot and that's why he spun. I don't know, but it's really unfortunate for him. As we see, Mad Knife has actually jumped in ahead of Sin. So these two are having a really good battle in the last 20 seconds of the race for those last couple of points positions.
Yeah, hey, all points
Sin
make
was
a
ahead,
difference.
but Mad Knife's jumped. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, so 7th place for Mad Knife so far. He's done, we've seen all sorts from Mad Knife this evening. He was up there early doors, had a couple of spins, fell down, has managed to claw himself back up to 7th place, which will get him 2 points if he can hold on to it. But yeah, as Mr. Salk said, loads of people are in the chat here this evening. Thank you for joining us for these final few moments of the race. If you've just joined us live, we've had crashes, we've had all sorts going on this evening, but it's Don Titor leading the way in the LMPs, and it is Bob leading the way in the GTEs in this multi-class event with Sin. He's got so much damage to the front of his car, he's even got no lights going round in 8th place. So
he's blind.
He's absolutely blind. He's not going to sure what's going on at all. But all kicking off in Legionary. He's going to have an attack back. He's got to catch up 2 seconds. He's fresh out of the pits. But you can see those times coming down really, really quickly. And this is going to be tight. He has got some pace. Oh, no, he's on a little nudge. But he's going to catch Sin. He's got another little nudge. And I'm going so high pitch because this is really exciting stuff into these last few moments. We've got 2 racers fighting for the final places, and we've also got an LMP chucked in there for luck as well. 2 LMPs chucked in there for luck.
Oh my God, that was risky.
So Legionary is right on the back of Sin, and you can see the race complete, and he's going to go down the inside. This is the home straight. Sin.
Sin's got no lights. He can't see.
No lights. He doesn't know what's going on. And with literally seconds to go. Although,
the last corner.
Saying that, he is still in 8th place because someone's obviously got a penalty. Legionary's got penalties.
2 seconds.
2 seconds. Not quite enough from Legionary there. Unbelievable. Hey, I was excited anyway. I was loving that. And as we were speaking, Geodude 300 has dropped as a follow. Wow, that was exciting, even though it didn't make any difference, but it was still great to watch. So here we have it, ladies and gents. Race complete. It is Don Titor in the LMPs taking first place, Seb in second, Art and Ben are in third to take the final podium position available in the LMPs. Bob in first place with Area Motorsport and Captain Cal, finishing off the top 3 in the GTE. So, wow. Now remember, if you're still tuned in to this, do not go away just yet. Although the action on the track has finished, we will bring you as much post-race reaction as we can. We're going to try and speak to some of the drivers after the race. We're hopefully going to bring you both race winners, hopefully, or if not, people in the podium positions, and we will try and analyse everything we've seen on the track as well. So please don't leave us yet, as there is still plenty of the stream left for you guys to get involved with. But wow. Jamie, that was really enjoyable, wasn't it?
What a finish, yeah. And obviously congratulations to the podium finishes in both races, but a couple of really good shout outs to some great drives there. In Vertigo in 4th in the LMPs. That is a cracking drive from him. as just as it goes by. I also wanted to shout out Mad Knife, but I've just lost the leaderboard.
Yeah,
Did
so
he
here we
manage
go
to get
quickly. So we got
6th
Don
or
Titor
7th?
in first in the LMPs, and of course in the GTEs we got Bob. I'm just trying to make a note of all the times here so we can see. So LMPs, we have Don Titor, Seb H, Artem Benner in Vertigo, Higgs Boson, Roy Klops, Blas, and Callie finish off your top 8. And in the GTs, it's Bob, Area Motorsport, Captain Callie, OTR Milo, Mr. Brisket, Razan Snell, Freddy, Mad Knife, and Sin finishing off those places with Legionary, Roughneck 1, and Berserker in 9th, 10th, and 11th, respectively. So there are your results for this evening of races, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible scenes. I'm going to click that save replay button because, wowzers, we just made lots of messes in our trousers. There was so much stuff to go on
Nice.
there that we might have to look back on. But yeah, incredible scenes all round. Let's head back to the studio and take a breath, shall we? Wow.
Whew.
Right, I think I've just taken enough breath for everyone. I mean, unbelievable scenes, I think, is the only way to describe that, Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely. Some fantastic performances all round. Some shocks and spills with T-Mac, the favourite and the pace setter, absolutely been cruelly knocked out of the race. Would be great to see if we can have a chat with him. Bob as well, in his debut Sunday Championship, putting on a performance of kings and, you know, really winning that race with ease at the end there. Yeah, fantastic night.
Unbelievable night of racing, and of course that was just week 1. We've got 3 more weeks of that, Jamie, which, I mean, I was excited about tonight anyway. I expected it to be fun, but that was so much fun, and for the next 3 Sundays we're going to do it all over again, and surely on a Sunday night this is going to be the place to be, right?
Oh, well, why would you be anywhere else? There's nothing on telly. Absolutely, you should be here.
Unbelievable. But I'm getting a little bit embarrassed by this now, Jamie, but we've got another donation. Mr. Salt has given us some more donations.
He's been drinking. He's got to have been drinking.
He says,
he's had a
great
bonus from
stream
work
as
or
always.
something."
Thanks for the entertainment. Looking forward to racing with you all next week. Mr. Salt, thank you very much, my friend. All amazing stuff. And Bob Hump also chucks in a Twitch Prime subscribe. So, I mean, the love on the stream has been amazing this evening. The racing on the track has been awesome. Let's go and speak to some of the racers and see what they thought all about it as we head over to our interview corner. Oh, so here we are in interview corner. We will try and bring you some race-free action as we always do. Let's turn off this fantastic Sonic remix we've got going on in the background at the moment. Just before we start any interviews though, Rob comes in with a subscribe at tier 1. He's on a 2-month streak with subscriptions. I mean, Jamie, I don't know about you.
What a night we've had.
Like, it's been unbelievable off the track with subscriptions, donations, really feeling the love from the community this evening. Like, we really, really appreciate all your support. But let's have a look to see who's still in the channels, to see who we can grab for an interview. We've got the Smoking Axles channel, which has got Area Motorsport, Higgs Boson, Seb H, and T-Mac all in one lobby. Now, unfortunately, with the Steam chat, it's harder to just move people around and chuck people about where we might need them. Although I've just made a request to T-Mac using the drag and drop to see if he will join us in the commentary box. If not, we'll just have to jump in the Smoking Axles channel and hopefully they will... oh no, here he is. So T-Mac is joining us live in the commentary box. T-Mac! 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 Oh,
how are we, fellas?
I don't even know what to say. Let's start. Just talk us through what happened.
So, well, firstly, I had done everything right. I thought I was smashing that race. And then, so I was coming up to lap Bibby and Bob. And then, so Bibby got a little bit out of shape on the second to last corner, the left-hander. And I think he just touched the grass. I was then trying to overtake him on his left. And he just kind of spun across the track and into orbit I went. So and then I was on my roof and damage galore, and so. But accidents happen. Like, he's already said, like, he's sorry. I was obviously annoyed, but yeah, he didn't mean it. So
Yeah.
we move
So-
on, and we attack Nürburgring with a bit more oomph next week.
Well, you've got to be feeling happy at least with the pace you were showing and the advantage, because you, like you said, you were driving a perfect race, pulling out a nice steady gap. So at least you can take that into the next few races.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good fun navigating the traffic as well. Like, and the early laps, I thought I did that pretty well. Yeah, it's just it's racing. It was one of those things. So yeah, look forward to Nürburgring. Get some good practice in. No, it'll be good. It'll be a good one.
I mean, if anything, if we've learned anything from this evening, we know that the next 3 weeks after that this evening are going to be intense, because I mean, there's so much going on all the time with people overtaking each other, just the speed of the cars that are going on, and even into the last few seconds of the race, we have people overtaking each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm absolutely buzzing for the next few weeks, as I'm sure all the drivers are as well.
Well, I mean, that if you thought that was crazy, that was the biggest track. So all
Yeah.
all the other tracks from here are smaller. So you'll have it more action going on. And I've heard on the grapevine, as I am the race organizer, that there is some rain scheduled in Nürburgring next week.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
I've heard it on the grapevine. There might be a mid-race shower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So something else to look forward to as well.
Okay, well, very sorry about your unfortunate incident, T-Mac, but hopefully next race you're straight back onto it. Thank you for putting on such an amazing event. We enjoyed it immensely.
Sensational. Hope the stream was good. I will catch that very soon. Yeah. Cheers, guys.
perfect. Thank you very much, T-Mac.
Thanks, T-Mac. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
So there we go. That was reaction from T-Mac. But of course, the chat has been going wild. And unfortunately, there's only one man everyone wants to speak to, which is meaning we're going to need to momentarily jump out of Steam chat, although we will be back to try and speak to other people who are in here, and head over to Discord, where Bob Hump is sat waiting for us. So we're going to dive in now and join Bob's channel. Bob, first place for you.
Get in there. Very happy with that.
Are you absolutely buzzing after that?
Oh, I've had to go for a little walk around the house. That was awesome. Yeah, that was.
Now, really good racing throughout the entire race. Of course, there was one incident which I would not be doing my job properly if I didn't ask you about, and that was, of course, the early little nudge on Area Motorsport, which saw you gain a place, perhaps,
Did I touch him in that? Because on my screen, I didn't touch him. He had the outside, went a bit deep on my screen, and then spun on the brakes. So
Interesting.
I hope I didn't touch him. I had no indication of a touch at all. So hopefully I didn't touch him. If I did, I apologise, but I didn't even thought of that, to be honest. But yeah, on my screen, we were having a great little battle. He went on the brakes and then sort of came across. And to me, it looked like that he was on the brakes trying to turn and spun round. If obviously I touched him, then my bad. But I don't think I did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, Bob. It looked on the stream like you had nudged him, but obviously you probably had the best view of anyone because he did have a good run on you. It looked like he made the pass.
Yeah, he
in your
was
view,
round.
he just sort of made the pass, but then just outbraked himself a bit, did he?
Well, we both went relatively deep, but it was more that he had the pass done, but he was turning in the braking zone, which I think made his rear tyres go. So to me, it just looked like he lost the rear tyres and went round. I had no damage on my car, and I didn't take any knocks or feel it. So I really hope I did. If I did, sorry, Mr. Area Motorsport. But yeah, on my screen, we didn't touch.
Interesting. Okay, well, hey, this is why we do the post-race interviews with all the drivers, just to get their view, because obviously we only get one real look at it. But away from that incident, obviously an incredible drive, managed to keep yourself ahead of the pack for quite some time in the end. We were talking earlier on, me and Jamie, saying, we'd probably choose to be in the GTEs if it was us, just purely because, the onus isn't on you to try and overtake all these cars. How much off-putting does it get with all these cars herring past you at these incredible speeds?
It's certainly interesting. You're running your own race. You got your eyes on the next corner, and then all of a sudden you just hear this whiny streak come up behind you, and you just see this blue flag for a split second, and then they're gone. So yeah, it was very interesting. You've got to be thinking of in front, behind, beside everything. So yeah, sorry, I'm reading the what Salty's saying at the same time.
He's calling you out there, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's calling you out in chat.
I think I need to watch that. But as I say, if I did touch him, it certainly wasn't intentional. I mean, going back to that, in my eyes, I was holding the inside line, so I'm not sure how I would have touched him anyway, unless he did come across. But anyway, sorry, I digress.
I mean, let's moving on from that. Then obviously, you did drive an amazing race. You've got to be happy with that. Your debut Sunday Championship race. You qualified first. You got out in front first. You kept the lead through, whatever means. That's another debate.
What was required?
You pitted first, and that seemed to work for you as well. We were watching the other pits of Bibby, as in particular, and he was pretty close, and you two were trading times back and forth, weren't you? But then he disappeared from the race. Not sure what happened, disconnected or whatever. And after that, it was a nice, smooth finish for you. So all in all, you've got to be absolutely chuffed.
Yeah, I mean, the first few laps were hairy. There's no denying that. Bibby and Area, I knew that they were on it, and they were their teammates, and obviously chatting to each other, and I knew they were gunning for me. And I believe I had the pace on them, but it's so tough when they've got the draft. They were just coming up, hammering behind me.
Yeah.
It was treacherous the first few laps. But then when I thought Area had a spin, then I had the.
You're reading the chat.
I'm sorry.
He can't help himself. He can't help it. He just wants to go and watch it now, doesn't he?
I'm going to go find Salt and punch him in the face. When that spin happened, however it happened, it gave me a gap. So I had about 3 seconds on him. And it was just, we were just trading it. It was going about swinging second by second each way. So those guys, it's going to be tough, this championship. It's going to be, I think that we've add Salty into mix as well. There's going to be 4 of us up there, and we're going to battle it out basically. So
fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly looking forward to the next 3 weeks. If that was anything to go by this evening, it gave us loads and loads of things to talk about, loads of action. And of course, we'll see you again for that one on Sunday. Are you joining us for the special on Friday?
I believe. Well, I'm penciled in for it. Let's put it that way.
Cool. Well, we'll see you on Friday. If not, we'll see you on Sunday. But once again, well done on your first place position. A great start to the Sunday League.
Been a pleasure, guys. Thanks for watching.
Enjoy it.
Cheers. So we're going to head back to the admin channel on Discord. And there we go. So that was the race winner from the GTEs. That was Bob Hunt. I'm just looking around the channels to see who else we've got knocking around. Everyone seems to have
got Invertigo there.
Yeah, everyone seems to have less steam, but we have got Invertigo. So let's jump in, although his mic is muted.
He is muted, yeah.
And I wonder whether
he might not be there.
Bothered, so he might not be there. But we got to hear from Team Up. We got to hear from Bob. Hopefully next time around we'll get a few more people. Let's head back to the studio and dissect what we just saw. Oh, so Jamie, incredible evening, incredible race, incredible love on the channel. What more can we say?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Obviously, we didn't know what to expect as much from the multi-class, but it worked fantastically, I have to say. Spills and shocks and drama everywhere. But yeah, off the track, what was happening tonight? There's definitely something in the air, isn't there? All we can say is thank you very much for all the support. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, very, very good. And just catching up on the chat, Drux says he'll see us on Friday for the race, or he maybe see us on Sunday if he can get in as a guest driver. Centre Mid, of course, joins us every single week with the heads gone emoji and his cheeky little wave that it comes in. Good evening, my friend. Thank you for joining us. And then Bob and Mr. Salt just going off on each other. But in between that, Sin...
Doing what?
Going off on each other.
Okay, sure.
In between, Sin just says, good win, Bob. And of course, it was. So yeah, on the track we saw some incredible scenes. Off the track, loads of subscribes, donates, loads of love, which makes us feel like this is all worthwhile. Looking again, we've got OTR Milo, great race, guys. Mad Thundercat, really great race. And now at this point of the stream, everyone's waiting for us to end it because they want to go and watch it. So we're going to drag this out for another, what do you reckon, 5 hours, so they can't watch it?
Yeah, at least. I'm all I'm enjoying now is almost everyone is telling Bob that he did touch him. So this is, this. I feel like this one's going to drag and drag. Bob's going to be getting the replays out. He's going to be doing in-depth analysis, get some spreadsheets going.
I'll tell you what, we can go one better than that, Jamie. We'll head over to our analysis studio and we'll have a look at the incident ourselves. Here we go.
We can all have a look together.
Right then, so the analysis studio is here. Now the challenge is to try and find it. It was obviously quite early on in the race, wasn't it? So let's see, what's the date today? The 10th of February. Let's look through all the replays I have available to me on the stream. It's going to be a little bit of a guessing game, I think, to decide exactly which one it is. But
we need to, mate.
We need to try and have a look at this where we can.
Bob's getting worried.
I'm going to go for this one first. Let's recap this replay first and see what comes on. And let's see if we can get. So this is, this I think is Area Motorsport pushing Bob. So I think this is it. I think I've nailed it first time. So we can see Area Motorsport pushing up here. So Area Motorsport is attacking Bob. And I believe it's the next corner that it happens. So we're all getting close to our screens now to see exactly what's happening. So Area Motorsport's hot on the tail of Bob. Here he goes down the inside. Or down the outside, should I say. Comes across and... oh, you can't quite tell from that angle. So close. I don't know what you guys think on the chat. Did it look like a knock to me? Did it look like a knock? Do we want to see it again? I think we need to see it again. Let's get it up again on the on the replay screen. So here we go again. This is, of course, a big talking point in the GTE. So Area Motorsport making his way. He was just attacking Bob all over the earth. Area chopped him, according to Trevor, but
Wow. Maybe a hint of bias from Trevor.
A love tap, says Rob. Mr. Brisket OTL, oh, sorry for this misguided drive, not on this. So we're looking at it again. So Area Motorsport going down the outside. Oh, it's so hard to tell. Now I've got it in my head that Bob says he didn't touch.
Yeah.
I've sort of got it in my head that I'm almost looking not for a touch, if that makes sense. But yeah, there it is, everyone. We've got Seb saying defo a bump. Rob saying there was a little love tap there. So, hey.
I think there's just a little touch, and it's just enough to send him spinning, because the car, without a touch there, that just seems like too unnatural, a sudden movement. It times perfectly, doesn't it, with when we think there might have been touch to the little turn. Exactly. Seb's calling 100%. Interesting.
Now what we'll do now, we'll finish off this analysis section. We'll just get all the replays queued up that happened during the race, so you can all watch back all the key incidents that we saw. So we're just going to try and talk through them as we go. So this is, we're on board of OTR Milo at the moment. So again, we're going to see all sorts of action. These are all the replays that were triggered during the race. So everything that we saw as a replay will now appear in this analysis studio for us to see here. So we're just going to sit back and watch all this action. And that, of course, was the massive smash we saw that OTR Milo got himself involved with. We've now got something else coming on the screen. So we're on board with Berserker at the moment. Berserker, this is where he gets a spin and just has to narrowly avoid someone just sat in the middle of the track. We're on board now with Langalang, and Langalang got called out a few times on the stream for various racing incidents. So again, I imagine this is going to be one of the incidents that he was called out for. You can see the pace he's got on these cars coming down the outside of that one now. He comes herring up to this next corner, and I believe there was some sort of incident on this corner as Langalang just goes a little bit wide and cuts across, and we nearly had a collision there. That was a really close one between Langalang and the GTEs, which and then Langalang straight off the track and a massive smash into the back of him, almost to say that wasn't very good racing from his. But we're looking at Mad Knife now. So Mad Knife making his way down the track, and this might have been one of the earlier spins, one of the camera curses, as we called them.
Oh, sorry, Mad Knife.
Yeah,
sorry,
so
mate.
Mad Knife.
We did you a few times.
Yeah, we did him a few times, to be fair to him. So Mad Knife, I believe, was catching Raz and Snell Freddy at this point. And unfortunately took a tumble. But yeah, here it goes. Oh, a little bit of sideways movement and just doesn't manage to hold it onto the track afterwards. But yeah, there we go. That was another replay there. This one, Mr. Brisket. Yes, I remember this one now. So we had OTL Milo, we had Mr. Brisket, and just in behind them we had, I can't remember who it was now.
Was it Sin?
Sin, yeah, you could be right. It could have been Sin. Just in behind, and this is where Sin had that big crash, I believe, and cost himself. But although it could actually just before that, I know Miss Brisket made a great move on OTL Milo on the inside and just went off wide. Yeah, didn't quite have enough on the brakes to cut on the inside there, and OTL Milo managed to hold on to 4th place while that was happening. So wow, that was very close. But yeah, OTL Milo on chat says, yeah, unbelievable how he got through that crash. And we've got a replay within a replay on this one because there was so much action going up at the time. So you can see that oversteer there by Mr. Brisket going off in the distance, and these two really went at it into the next few corners. And I think here this is where Mr. Brisket does actually make the move on the inside. So Mr. Brisket, lovely little manoeuvre, and just managed, a little bit of a nut, but nothing too serious. And Mr. Brisket manages to get through on OTL Milo to take 4th place at that time on the race. So really good driving there from Mr. Brisket to take that. But of course these replays are Boom TV provided. So Artem Benner now next up for the replay treatment. He was hot on the tails of Seb H at this point. We saw that bit of car just lying by the side of the track, and we thought we saw a fantastic manoeuvre, but Seb H just pulled into the pits and let Artem Benner through. So not quite some great racing. But the big news in that one, we saw T-Mac on his roof, and we were all like, what the hell's going on?
There he is.
And there it is, yeah, there it is, the one on the roof. So we all thought, oh, someone's in the pits, and bam, T-Mac's on his roof, which was just a crazy moment in the race. But here we've got Bibby and Area Motorsport going at it. So these two had some great ding-dong battles during the race. So this is where Bibby starts catching up Area Motorsport now, and I believe Area Motorsport's tyres at this point were pretty much shot. And Area Motorsport unfortunately does take a spin towards the back end of this replay, and Bibby makes the pass, which we should see coming up now. So yeah, there's the little sideways movement from Area Motorsport. We'll let Bibby through. Area Motorsport, hey, got himself back on the track, cracked on, carried on, so did really well to continue. Higgs Boson we're on board with now. He was catching Roy Klops at this point, and again I believe this was another slight mistake from Roy Klops, which let Higgs Boson through. So Higgs Boson was pushing Roy Klops really hard into these next set of corners, but Roy Klops just losing attraction and falling foul of the place to give up the position to Higgs Boson, I believe. There it is, just touches the grass, and Higgs Boson takes his move pass, and away he goes into 6th place. That was for him at the time. We're getting towards the end of the replays now, and this is the one involving Sin, the big crash that we saw the LMPs getting involved, and we had a really tight battle on all our hands for 5th place. This is OTL Milo, Mr. Brisket and Sin all so close to each other, and then all of a sudden we see the LMP start catching up and almost sending Sin into orbit. We can see one of them going off the track there just in front, and as Mr. Brisket comes round this corner, big crash, Mr. Brisket goes down the middle, and unfortunately Sin, facing the wrong way, has to turn back onto the track and get away from it. So yeah, really unfortunate for him there. Captain Callie was in 4th place, and this is where Legionnaire again, we think at the time he had a bit of damage or some tyre issues or something going on, because he ended up actually going in the pits quite shortly after this. We checked out to see the sort of times that were going on, but Captain Callie was in 4th place at the time, manages to get into 3rd place because of this mistake from Legionary. So would have been good to try and find out exactly what happened, but oh no, wrong way round, sorry. That was where Captain Callie made the spin and then jumped straight back on the track. Sorry, that was my mistake. So much action to try and remember that was going on. That was the one that did get the chat talking, the reset that came onto the middle of the chat. So yeah, lots of people calling that out as a potential dangerous manoeuvre. But we're on board with Artem Benner now, in 3rd place at the time. and we switched to Captain Callie, and this was the one, sorry, where Legionary takes the spin and Captain Callie goes into third place. So some really, a bit fortunate from Captain Callie, but hey, still got to put yourself in the position to make your way up in there. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is all the replays from this evening. Let's head back to the studio. So there we go, Jamie. That was all the action that we saw. And if you had to pick a moment of the race for you, what are we saying?
It's got to be that controversial first lap incident for the lead of the GTEs, to be honest. It's got everyone talking. Everyone's got a different opinion. But that's what racing's all about, isn't it? It's about sparking that discussion. Well, that's what we all enjoy. I mean, just the sheer amount of replays shows what a mad race that really was. I hope you all enjoyed it out there.
Yeah, great. We've got this facility to look back on the replays and appreciate all the love, all the follows, all the subscribes, all the chat, everything you guys have brought to the table. I hope you enjoyed that race at home. We certainly enjoyed it in the studio. Obviously, a lot of chat around the replays. Great for the drivers to see themselves back. Invertigo says, top job, guys. Looking forward to watching it back. Trevor Hump says, where area tried to take Bob out.
Family loyalties.
Bit of family loyalty there. Yeah, only joking, of course. But yeah, that is it for the stream this evening. Yeah, take a breath. Incredible scenes all round on and off the track. Thank you for everyone's support here this evening. Jamie, again, thank you for joining me in the commentary box.
Yeah, I just want to say well done to you, because that is a mammoth stream. That's over 2 hours. That is a serious stream for you to present. So fair play, well done, mate.
Yes, I mean, we do see some long streams on Twitch where, of course, people are gaming and there's little breaks in between. But yeah, it's great fun just talking about all this racing for as long as we do. And hey, next Sunday I'm sure is going to be just as crazy. But loads of love coming through on the channel. Chat again. And Bob's going to put his evidence in the Discord chat, apparently. So
I'll look forward to that.
If you're not on the Noob Gamers Discord channel, head over to noobgamers.com and find the link and join the Discord and see how that kicks off. But yeah, Seb says, good job. Boys, can't wait to watch it back. Trevor, well done, everyone. Great stream. Yeah, loving everything. Got to be a pain with that sunburn.
Yeah.
So it's not sunburn.
Ryan can put some after sun on now. It's fine.
On there, yeah. But yeah, as Trevor said, great evening's entertainment. Hopefully you guys at home, me and Jamie certainly loved it here. So, looking forward to next Sunday already. But remember, this week, we're not streaming on Thursday for the very first time. We're streaming on Friday because love is in the air on Thursday. Everyone's going to go and spend loads of time with their, better halves on Thursday to celebrate Valentine's Day. And then we're going to bring you... I think it's called something like Chaos on the Hill or something like that, which is
something like that, yeah.
Pickup trucks going around Bathurst, which is going to be ridiculous. So join us on Friday for that, because that is going to be madness. 8 p.m. UK time, and then we'll be back again on Sunday to bring you race 2 of this multi-class league on Sunday again, 8 p.m. UK time. So thank you for joining us here once again this Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you again on Friday. Jamie, once again, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, and happy Valentine's Day to Mr. Salt.
Happy Valentine's to Mr. Salt indeed. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching it back, and thank you very much. We'll see you all again soon. Thank you very much.